But you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The Immaculate Conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's claws, the birth of Nimrod, and not the Son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai.
Hebrew Israelites, Kwam Yasha.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Shalom, brothers and sisters.
Shalom!
Welcome to another live class with the ISBHPK, the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. I'm Priest Quatazat. To my right, we have Priest Kazakia. We're located at 8524
Shalom.
South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. Class times are Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 10 p.m., Friday 6 to 9 p.m., Saturday morning, Sabbath from 10 to 2. And we have our kids class from 2 to 3 p.m. Also, we have our ISBHPK cable show on Saturdays on Comcast Local Channel 17 at 8:30, or you can stream it on hmstv.org. We already have our first class on our YouTube page, on the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge YouTube page. All right? And that's going into proving that the Mexicans are the tribe of Issachar. So when you get a chance, check it out. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Share the page, share the videos. You know, if you got friends and family that are asking you questions and you don't have all the answers, all you got to do is search through our videos and you can send them a video. And more than likely, we've covered the topic. Okay?
And also, we're getting back on the 5 minutes of wisdom.
5 minutes of wisdom.
That's coming out. Got to, like we were saying, got to stay busy.
Got to stay busy. So I got the 5 minutes of wisdom. So that's a separate channel. We have the ISBHPK Kids. We have ISBHPK, and then we have the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. So 4 different pages that you can subscribe, you can like, you can share. Okay, a lot of class, a lot of wisdom, and on those pages. And before I forget, tomorrow at sundown is the Feast of Tabernacles, okay? Right. Feast of Tabernacles, that's gonna go from the 22nd of September to the 29th of September. So if you're local in Houston and you wanna congregate, you wanna feast with us one of these nights, hit us up. You can hit me up on 303-557-8979. His number is 281-707-2737. Wow, I remember that.
Yeah.
Or any numbers. So hit us up if you want to get together. Hit us up if you want to congregate. We're going to be feasting all those nights, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Either at someone's house or going out. So get with us. Again, please like, share, and subscribe our videos, our YouTube pages. Get the word out. Look out for the Blog Talk Radio cable show, the Blog Talk Radio show. It's a podcast brought to you by the brother Mashaba out in Albuquerque. blogtalkradio.com/Mashaba. You want to take that? And I'll just use this. /Mashaba. Okay, MASHAHBA. And that's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at around 9:30. Okay, for any garments you need made, go on Facebook. You can search Israel Wear, and the sisters will get you a garment. Any emails or concerns that you want to send us, you can do so at isbhpk@isbhpk.org. Okay, and for your donations, we appreciate all that's been given. It's been going to the school. It's been helping to pay off things for the school, like we just got our laptop paid off that we use to broadcast class. Somebody helped out with a donation with that. So, you know, we thank y'all for all that you guys do for us and for the school. Okay? Everything that you guys give, it goes to the school. So we appreciate that. And if you want to continue to give, whatever, school supplies, any type of supplies, they can be mailed to the school. Any monetary donations, they'll have the Wells Fargo account number as well as the Google Wallet account number floating across the screen. Okay, so that's going to be it for the announcements. Remember, tomorrow, Feast of Tabernacles. Tomorrow is the Sabbath. Well, the Sabbath is going to start in a few minutes, but it is a Sabbath also. So
it's a double Sabbath. So
right, double Sabbath.
Yeah. Double check that too, Ari. I think double check and see if it's a Sabbath tomorrow. We know it's a feast day, but double check and see if it's a Sabbath. All right.
Done.
All right. Were we gonna go right into this? We're gonna go directly into class.
We're gonna dive right in. We ain't gonna dip the toe. We ain't doing none of that. We gonna
dive right in.
You're gonna dive right in. You gonna get your feet wet, get your body wet. So, you want to talk about it? You want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. I was just trying to make sure all the brothers and sisters are on there that are getting on our regularly scheduled program. Let me check this real quick, and then we're going to go right into this. So this class, we're going to be talking about where that spirit of adultery comes from. And we're going to be talking about how it starts. So, you know, this is for men and women. This ain't just for men. This ain't just for women. This is for men and women. And this is how the spirit of adultery starts when it's entertained. Okay, so that's tonight's topic. All right, so y'all definitely want to pay attention, write these scriptures down, and get this. So let's go right into it.
Yeah. Who in here knows what an emotional affair is? What's that, Mark?
When you fall for somebody emotionally, girls do all the time. Like,
you said what?
You fall for somebody emotionally. Like, but like, if you have a husband or something like that, you shouldn't even be conversing with a dude and oh, that's just my friend or whatever. Like that's to me, that's an emotional affair. Y'all sharing a bond, even if it's not sexual. It should be no bond, but like your bond. Like
yeah, talk a little louder, so they can hear you online. Cause what you're saying is on point.
Yeah, stand up and talk.
Yeah, please. I
feel like an emotional bond is like
an emotional affair.
I mean, emotional affairs. You're giving an emotional bond that should be explicit to your husband, or like exclusive. I mean, to your husband or your significant other, because you're giving them a bond that you ain't supposed to be sharing. Like Scripture says, you ain't supposed to be, sitting down with another man's wife.
Right.
For a number of different reasons.
Right, because let's be honest, where does adultery start? Does it just like you meet a person and all of a sudden you're just in the bedroom? Oh, well, maybe. I mean,
sometimes.
But sometimes, but for the most part, those adulterous affairs, where do they start? They start at the job. They start at school. They start where you develop over time a relationship emotionally with someone else other than your husband, or for a man, we know other than for a woman that's already married. If we're dealing with this topic of adultery, because the adultery for a man and a woman is different, but we know that for a woman it's anyone other than her man, and for a man it's a woman that's already married to another man. So let's do it like this. Let's deal with the law. Go to Leviticus 20:10. let's deal with the law on adultery so we can understand that, yeah, there's a physical adultery that happens. There's something physical that happens, but this is the byproduct of the spiritual, the emotional. I don't even want to say spiritual, because it's not spiritual. If it is spiritual, it's a damn demon. But the emotional byproduct, okay? Or the byproduct of the emotions. Go to Leviticus 20 and verse 10.
Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
Right. So from what we're getting from this scripture, we all know this scripture, basic law, right? That a man that committed adultery, that sleeps with another man's wife, what should happen?
He shall surely be put to death.
Read on.
Their blood shall be upon them.
Go ahead.
Verse 12. And if a man lie with his daughter-in-law.
That's it on that. So we're understanding that there's a penalty attached. There's a penalty attached to adultery. But what we have to come to realize is that adultery is the byproduct of something else. The adultery don't just happen. Right. There's a lead up and a build up if you don't catch and keep your mind, in order. There's a lead up and a build up, and then the adultery is what happens. Go to Galatians 5:19. So we're understanding that adultery, it manifests itself in a fleshly way, right? Because for physical adultery to happen, there has to be something physical. It has to be something fleshly. You got to lay with that man, or that man has to lay with that woman, right? Y'all with me so far? Galatians 5:19. So what we're dealing with is the aftermath of all the things we're about to go through. And just bringing you about that way just to show you this is the aftermath. We don't want to, and this class is about adultery, but not about the physical committing of the act, but about all the emotional.
You should say not only about the physical.
Not only about the physical.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Right.
And wording is very important, because I don't want to give anybody the impression that it's okay to go creep off with another dude. Right. You can do everything else is wrong, but then it's okay to go creep off with another man, or for a brother to go creep off with somebody else's wife. That's not the impression that we want to give to any brother or sister. So read Galatians 5:19.
Galatians chapter 5 and verse 19.
Now
the works of the flesh.
These are the works of what?
The flesh.
So these are the workings of a carnal, non-spiritual, non-Bible applicating individual. Read.
Are manifest. Which are these?
Go ahead. And it says the works of the flesh are manifest. What do they manifest from? As we go on, we're going to understand they manifest from your thoughts. They manifest from a thought process that went unchecked. Read.
Which are these? Adultery.
What is what?
Adultery.
Okay, so this is what we're dealing with. So the works of the flesh that are manifested through an unrighteous thought process are adultery. Go ahead.
Fornication.
Fornication. Read.
Uncleanliness.
Uncleanliness. Go ahead.
Lascivious.
Right. Lasciviousness. So, not dealing with all the other ones that we've read, but what I'm trying to focus on is the adultery. It's the first one that's named. Okay? Usually when you read a list of ingredients, the first ingredient is the most potent. It's the most used ingredient. So adultery is named here first because why? It's a big offense. But if we look at and read it again from the top real quick.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest.
They're manifest. I want y'all to understand this word manifest. We got to understand, where do they manifest from? They manifest first from a fleshly thought process. Then they manifest physically in our doing. So we know that it's adultery, right?
Good.
So what is it about adultery, and what is it that we should understand about adultery? Aria, what is it that you know about adultery that, it's wrong? What leads to it? What is it that you understand?
That it begins in the mind.
Right.
And then if that thought or idea isn't killed,
right,
that seed takes root and then it grows and then it manifests into the action and then the doing.
Right, and dealing with the topic, how does that seed manifest? How does that little seed of wickedness grow? Well, it grows through time where, you know, brothers and sisters, you have your little, they call them, what's the terminology they use? They use work wife. You ever hear that?
Mm-hmm.
I got my work wife?
No, I ain't never heard that.
I got my work wife. She's my work wife.
Started in high school.
Yeah.
That's your school wife, your school child.
Yeah.
Your school son, your school daughter.
Your work wife, because what is she? She's the one at the job that she'll buy you meals. She'll make sure that your tie is on the right way. She'll look out for you. She'll give you the advice. She'll give you that emotional support.
Right.
That's the work wife or my work husband. Abadiah.
I was going to say, when I was an executive secretary, I was like, I had 3 executives, and one of them was a male. I was like his wife. Like, literally, I knew more stuff than his wife did.
Yeah.
I helped him relocate to New York. I knew and did more stuff, somewhat, than his wife.
Than his wife.
Yeah. I knew personal and business.
Right. Now, but let me ask you this. I'm going to get to you, Mark, because there's a thin line that doesn't have to be crossed, but there is a thin line where you can know all this man's personal business and his business because it's like a not that. What do you have when you have I'm a busy dude, an assistant, right? If you're an assistant to somebody that's very busy, and you have to know his personal business, but there's a difference between personal and intimate. That's what we got to understand, where this work wife, work husband connotation goes into now. You know intimate things about me that I should only share with my wife or my husband.
Right.
Now, check out the dynamic of this. Everybody that works, that's in a high level, because this is what people don't understand, that like you were probably an executive. You weren't just somebody that came in and were on the computers and done. You were executive, right? So your relationship with your boss isn't that of the other nature, like the other individuals coming in. You're hired to do a job, flip the flies. That's all I need you to do, right? Yeah, that ain't your job. Your job is to report to the boss and to communicate with this boss on this level to get this understanding, right? Now, we're using that one example, but then you have on the lower level that you just have a worker, that a person you're working with. See, so we got to be clear on these different relationships that become inordinate and how they become inordinate, because that's what we're talking about. So your relationship as an exec, this other relationship is you just work together. But you know, you the guy's over there, he's making jokes, and you're like, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're doing that, you're doing all that.
Or he's doing it back.
Or he's doing it back to you, right? And you ain't saying nothing. He puts his, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Small of your back.
Or he's just close to you, right? He just like, you can see it's like, whoa, y'all hanging around.
Personal bubble.
Yeah. He's in your, you know how when a girl don't like a guy, she's always, yeah.
She does this.
Yeah, she's always like, hey, honey.
Yeah.
Bro, where'd you come from, spooky guy? Yeah. Right? That's what Houston does, right? Exactly, right? Everybody, oh, who are you? Wow, you scared me. But if it was somebody,
you like
go to YouTube and type in, this picking up women, right? The young guy with flowy hair is flowing in Hebrew. right? His skin is glowing like the vampire on Twilight. And they're like, hey, you want to go out and have lunch? Sure. Yeah. Right? You can tell when a woman doesn't like somebody and when a woman does. Turn my mic down because I'm already loud. So, testing. A little bit right there. So, you know when this bubble is getting pierced, right? You know when your space is getting pierced. So whether you're exec or whether you're just on the floor and you guys all go out to lunch together, because the bosses do like that. You know, hey, everybody, we're gonna go out for drinks. It's on me. It's a business meeting. We want to talk about whoop-de-whoop. But you go out, you guys talk. It's to build the camaraderie of the call center of the business, right?
Yeah.
That happens.
Work morale, you build that up. But the point and the problem is where now y'all are both faded off in the corner, hung up on each other, as
talking, friends.
But that's
air quotes as air quote friends.
That's the whole thing about emotional adultery is.
There you go.
The first thing it's labeled is, oh, we're just friends.
Right.
Oh, that's just a friend.
Now listen, don't get this twisted, y'all. This ain't about women only. This is about men too. Because you got a lot of Israelite men that got the truth. And then they deal with a woman and then they say, oh, she's a friend or
and knowing
she's
that
a buddy.
Knowing that she's involved, knowing this is what a brother knows, that she got a boyfriend.
Right.
But see, the brother's like, well, she that's just a boyfriend. It ain't a husband because she don't know the truth. That's how bros try to manipulate and maneuver through the law, where you know better, but you're like, she don't know better, so I'm gonna try to bamboozle my way in there, knowing damn well that's her husband. No matter what they call it, that's what it is technically.
Even if you believe like that, though, a lot of these females lie. Like,
what do you mean? If you believe like that?
Like, if you believe like if you got a boyfriend, I'm not dealing with you. These females will lie.
Right.
Like, nah. I had a girl from the gym one time. I used to work out. Like, that's why I don't really. I ain't gonna say I don't go to the gym. I don't go to the gym. I'm lazy. But literally, girl, like, I see her at the gym all the time. Then we start talking or whatever. Start talking to her. We start rapping. Whole conversation. I asked her if she got a boyfriend. So I'm like, because I'm always skeptical because if somebody's pretty, men are thirsty. So I'm not, so I don't look like Chris Brown or Genuine or whoever these girls niggas,
You ain't light skinned?
Yeah, I ain't no light skinned dude, nothing like that. So we rap for a little longer. We go to the parking lot. You have you single? Well, I'm in a situation. It's always, well, I'm in the process of da. Like, but we live together. But I'm in the process of moving out. I cut off talking to her, but like, women are lying if you don't ask the right. Sometimes like you might ask the right questions. Like somebody y'all know of. Like when I first met her, I asked the right questions. She lied all the way until the point where I found it out. Like,
right,
dude was hitting me up. So sometimes you can't even really control how wicked this society is. Like, and I understand how y'all be telling me like, hey.
But this class is not to condone what you can't control. Fine, you're in another space, but this ain't about that. This class is to tell you to use wisdom and to not put yourself in that situation. So we know about them that lie. That you can't do nothing about that. You know what I mean? Men or women, you can't do nothing about that. We're not talking about that.
We're talking about the ones that know, like that this woman that you work with got a boyfriend. She got a situation, and you're trying to, and you're overstepping your boundaries. Same thing with a woman. She knows damn well she's married, but she's overstepping her boundaries with whether it be a coworker, whether it be a boss, whether it be someone that she just a friend, air quote, 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 right? She says she just a friend. Oh, right? It's always that. But, and that's what we're dealing with. Yeah, people lie. But how do you get around the lies? Prove a friend. That's how you do that. You prove a friend. You take the time to talk and work out all the information out of them, and you won't get into the situation.
I like how you just brought it out, because you brought out a perfect example of how situations go. You said from the gym to the parking lot, she started to spit the truth. Usually it only takes that. Because a woman, anybody at the beginning don't want to just spit the whole thing. You know what I mean? They don't want to spit all their information out. But as you keep asking and prying, by the time you got to the parking lot, you got the information. It wasn't that she was lying straight out, and you get that a lot too. But it was that, you know what? She don't trust you. But then as you gain her trust, which only took you from the front door to the parking lot, right? Now,
it took 2 reps.
Yeah, because women swear I don't want to let you in.
They're guarded, right?
You let me in. It took that long. It just matters how skillful you are, right? And you got in, and she revealed, oh, I do got a man. So the point is to ask, to constantly ask, especially when you're in that meeting stage. You know, you meet that person. So what happened in your last relationship? Well, we kind of not broken up because we still, like you said, we still living together. You know what I mean? But we're not together.
We ain't talking, but we're still having sex.
Well, I was gonna get there. So when's the last time you had sex? Well, it was, you know, we just take care of each other, but we not together. He does his thing. You see that? So the more questions you ask, a lot of brothers don't ask questions. A lot of people don't ask questions. And then you're in the middle and you realize that, wait a minute, I didn't know it was like that. But because you didn't really ask. So that's what he's saying about proving a friend.
Right. Go to Ezekiel. Go to Ezekiel 16 and 30, because I want to show y'all something about adultery. And again, we're going through the physical stages or the physical byproduct of this emotional, ill-spirited dealings.
Yeah.
Okay.
We ain't even got down. I know y'all think, well, that's the gist of the class. No.
Yeah. Nope.
No. That's not the point. That's the obvious.
Yep.
We're gonna get down
the
to
obvious is what happens.
Yeah.
The obvious is what happens, but the obvious don't happen right away.
Right.
We got to see what does happen, what takes place, what transpires. How do you know you're in this position or not? Because some of us are. Some of us are entangled in a emotional affair, and you don't realize it because you've been taught that, oh, I'm just being friendly, or you've been taught that, oh, it's just flirting. Flirting. There's nothing wrong with flirting, or it's just a little text here and there.
Or how about the word that I used before? Admiration.
Oh, it's just a little admiration.
Oh,
we don't get there.
Yeah, I don't want to jump ahead. I don't want to jumpy. Go ahead.
Ezekiel 16, read that.
Right.
I want to show y'all something about adultery, and it's going to sound harsh. I read this scripture, I was like, damn, Most High was hitting on this, but it's real because, and I believe that some of you men, some of you women can definitely relate to this scripture when you were dealing in your wrong mind if you ever committed adultery. Read.
Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 30.
Come on.
How weak is thine heart?
How weak is what?
Thine heart.
Come on.
Said the Lord power.
Read.
Seeing thou doest all these things.
What things? Read on.
The work of an imperious, whorish woman.
The work of what?
An imperious, whorish woman.
So an imperious, whorish woman, her mind, her heart has been weakened. That's why the first thing he said is, how weak is your heart? Your mind. Where are your thoughts at? Read on.
31. In that thou buildest thy eminent place.
Eminent place.
Eminent place.
You build this lavish. It's like you're in a relationship with a man, and on the side you're building up like a whole lavish other life. Right? Read on. Watch. Read.
In the head of every way.
Right, and you build it in every way possible to catch a dude.
Right.
To catch the man that is on the side.
Right. Just like, remember, this is talking about Israel.
And this
is the same. It doesn't dissipate the point of an adulterous,
right,
whorish mind. Because even though we did it as a nation, this still applies to what he's going on.
Right. Let's scale it down from a nation to individuals now.
Yeah.
A nation mindset, because this is, when you read up, he was talking about Israel. This was talking about Israel as a nation. But it don't take away from the point when we scale it down and apply it to individuals.
Right.
And apply it to situations, because this is exactly how it goes down. Read.
And makest thine high place in every street.
Come on.
And hast not been as an harlot.
Read.
In that thou scornest hire.
Check this out, because what does a harlot do? Why is a harlot considered a harlot? She's collecting money for her services. But it says you're not even like a harlot, because you scornest the hire. You like, nah, I don't need your money. Think about it. When you're committing your adultery, right? Are you doing it for the money? Who's doing it for the money? You're not. You're doing it because there's some other thing. There's a weakness in your mind. There's an emotional weakness. There's a weakness of communication between your husband or your wife that has been broken.
Now, let me say this. This is why we as Israelite priests have to be very careful, what predicament you're in dealing with another. Because a lot of our situations is a sister come, she'll ask counsel.
Oh, yeah.
So we in here gotta remind brothers to ask them. Ask your husband, and I need to know, is this okay with your husband to give counsel? And is it your husband, does he need to be here? And then we talk, we got to make sure that the husband knows, because that's where you get false accusations. You don't want that. So we got to CYA cover our butt to make sure we know, don't get in these predicaments.
You know what also comes from that? Where we're giving a person the application, we're giving a person the wisdom. Let's say you got a sister that's dealing with her husband, and he doesn't know how to deal because he's new in the knowledge.
Right.
And we know how to deal. We've been seasoned in this, and we're giving out the knowledge. What tends to happen? She's starting to gravitate towards that knowledge, towards that power, and she holds that priest and that admiration. And it's like, well, I wish my husband could. Right. How come my husband can't? I wish my husband can use the wisdom like that, or teach me like that. And then you start to build some type of affections for the man that's giving you the wisdom.
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. But this is why this is why you as a priest gotta understand. Don't ever put yourself.
Not too far though.
And I'm saying this for because we gotta touch a little part of this. That you as a priest don't put yourself in that predicament. You gotta always check that mind, knowing this mind is in women. Right? You got to know what type of woman this is. Don't start shaking your head, Don't start doing that, because let me bring it back, because I didn't finish my point. There's a lot of brothers that, because we're talking about on a woman perspective, but let's bring it around to the men too. There's a lot of men that be online and got friends of women on their Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook, and communicate with them as friends. But that's another man's woman. What you doing?
You know what's funny about that? Like, I've been getting a lot of Facebook, like, people like requests.
Right.
And I ain't gonna lie, it's a lot of damn women.
Right.
And the first thing I look is, married?
Right.
Because if you married, there's no what.
Why are you trying to friend
why
me?
Are you trying to friend me
when you're married?
You don't need my friendship.
Right.
What the hell you?
Your husband's your friend.
Yeah, there's nothing.
He's your only friend on the earth.
He's your friend, your lover, and your confidant.
Right.
I don't have nothing that. There's nothing that I can.
He's your mama. He's your daddy. He's that nigga in the alley. Right.
That's
like he's that guy. Stop looking for outside influences.
Yeah.
Right? Can I make this point about the men?
Go ahead.
The men, you start friending random women on Facebook and talking to them.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so when we talk about this spirit of adultery, this is what we're talking about. we're not just talking about from a woman. This is men too. Y'all gotta watch what you're doing too, because you talking to these women and then next you know, she wants to meet up with you, right? And then she lies to you because you never did what from the door. You befriend her, you want her mind, you want her spirit, you were friendly, right? And then next you know, she just says, you know what? I need this man.
Yeah, but she already got one.
But she got one. But you opened the door because when she was on her guard, what did you do? You didn't ask. You friended her and started sending pictures through Snapchat instead of saying, wait a minute, sis, you got a man? Because in the beginning, you're going to know, unless she's just a straight out demon in adultery. But usually, in the beginning, you're going to know, oh yeah, I got a man because, you know, she'll tell you straight out. But once you win her and break down her guards, she might be like, dang, you somebody different.
Yeah, you different, girl.
So, once again, the men have to watch that also. Just friending everybody on face. Friend. She looked good. Friend. And then you throwing pictures back and forth. You're on the way to this adulterous mind state. And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, all it starts with is a shalom. There's a lot of Israelites online. I promise you, if you go through my Facebook requests, there's like 500 just sitting there. Yeah. And I go through, I'm like, why are these sisters that got men? I go on their, before I friend anybody, I go on their profile to see who the hell it is. Who we got in common, who they know that I know. That's how I am. And I'm like, wait a minute. Your husband's an officer of such and such at this school. What the hell are you friending me for? Delete. I don't need that drama. I don't need that. There's nothing I can say to you that your officer of 10 million, 10,000, 1,000, whatever, can't say to you. There's nothing that I can add to that. Right. I'm not going to put myself
in that predicament. And then
where it's like all it needs is shalom, sir. That's all it needs. And it's like, oh, shalom, sis. Because our mode is shalom, what's going on?
Right.
But that leads you into a whole bag of worms if you're not walking circumspect and looking.
Right.
Because then next thing you know, you get into and not doing it maliciously, but you'll get into counseling a woman that has a husband and not even.
It's happening. Listen, it's happening to me recently.
It happened. You had to check me on it.
I had to check him on it because we just counsel. Yeah. You know, out of the goodwill of our heart. Yes, this is what. Then I said, whoa. I said, wait up, sis. Let me double check because right. It ain't gonna be Kazakia is out here doing some wickedness.
Right.
I said, sis, do you got a man? I know I asked you this before and you didn't, but has that changed? Because here's the trick. Before I asked, no, I don't got no man. Boom. Then, well, you ain't around. You don't come to the school.
So you don't know what's going on.
Then it snapped. I was like, wait a minute, sis. I asked you before, but I didn't ask recently. Yep. Do you have a man? Yeah, I have a man. I was like, well, sis, I can't be counseling you and you got a man like this. Yeah. You should have told me that. I said, with all due respect, he knows that you counsel. Nah, sis. Nah. Not like that. Especially a man. If it's your rib, like family.
Yeah, it's different.
It's different. Like I labor amongst them. I know. He knows. I know. He's gonna give me the leeway or not. He's gonna say, hey, you know what? Yeah, rap to her. She needs a little extra counsel, right? That's one thing, but you got individuals, they'll do that. So we gotta be very careful. You gotta walk very circumspect and be like, hold on. I asked before, but I didn't. Then I realized, I was like, sis, with all due respect, I don't want to disrespect you or him. You know what I mean? Because how you were talking before, that's one thing. But when you got a man, that's another thing. You see that? See, you got to be very keen on that.
Yeah. You
got to be and this is what we're trying to raise young priests as. You got to be very keen on, okay, she got a man. Watch the tone. Even if the husband's like, yeah, please tell her, check her. Cool. You pull the scriptures, you show them.
But it's still an attack.
But it's still a way.
Yeah.
You see? So these are the things, man, that the world, they ain't looking at none of that. So we got to be 100 times more on top of it. You know, and we had to throw that little piece in there because as priests, we supposed to be on top of that. All right? But going back to the point, you know, this work environment, this worldly mind, that brothers and sisters still be in the truth, and they be gaining that friendship with this individual. And listen, how about this? You ain't even give them your number yet. You ain't even give them a phone call yet. You ain't get no flowers.
Nothing.
You ain't get no. You know how it says sitting out at all at the wine. You ain't doing none of that. But what you are doing is sitting there admiring
and laughing at all his jokes.
Yeah, you like
looking at him like, damn, he's powerful. Man.
Yeah, looking at his arms.
He's so smart. It's just, you know what it's like? It's just like
you looking at her ass like, I know she got a man, but damn, girl.
When I would do that, you know what it's like when you read about Joseph and Potiphar? When you read about Joseph, Potiphar, and Potiphar's wife.
Just read that.
Potiphar's wife, when you read into Josephus, I wasn't going to go there because it's a long reading, but she said it said she loved Joseph on the account of how he handled his affairs and the way he looked. So she was looking at the way he controlled and used wisdom. She was gravitated towards what?
The power.
The power. Think about it. All these work relationships. Come on, y'all watch damn Olivia Pope. What is that? Scandal? Come on, man. She was running to every little nigga with power. Right? She knew this dude was married, but what was she chasing? The power. How did that relationship develop?
Right.
First it was like, no, we can't. You're married. Then it was like, well, nah, I don't give a damn. No, we can't. No, we can't. And then he wore her down. Next thing you know, they damn open relationship. The wife knows about it. The world knows about it. It's like we don't care no more. You got to see how things develop. What's that?
That's how sleazeball niggas in the world do though, because like just homies in the world. Like I grew up around like in the world, so-called player circle, like
right.
So their motto would always be, "She got a boyfriend, just wait. You got to keep talking to her. When he up, then that's when she gonna be calling you, and that's
right.
How
yeah, you slide in.
That's
right.
That's all. It's Satan's opportunities.
And you said, and I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, you're good.
You said perfectly. Men of the world. So we can't be like that then. That means that everybody on your Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook can't be some other brother's wife, some other man's wife.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I said about brothers.
Right.
Because you don't notice that you be doing that. You be chatting it up with her, and next you know she was just a friend, and then she was like, well, she got to know you on Facebook. But it didn't happen to 2 years later. Why? Because you were just shooting pictures and friendly conversation, but now she admires you. And then next you know what? 2 years later, when she broke up with her man, she was like, man, that one guy that I admire,
see what he's about.
See what he's about. So you got to watch what you're initiating. You got to watch what you're throwing out there and feeding out there. Listen, brothers be doing that. Like I said, look at your Facebook and Instagram. I know some of y'all gonna be like, damn, I got a lot of random chicks on mine. Yeah, but how many of them you asking, hey, do you got a husband? Before you friend. Nah, you just like, oh, let me get your Snapchat. Right? Niggerism.
Yeah.
Niggerism. Yeah, sis.
Collecting bodies.
So, I looked up the word impurity because I didn't know what it meant. But in verse 31, when it says, in that thou buildest thine eminent place in the head of every way, what does that mean again?
When it's talking about verse 31, and in that thou buildest thine eminent places, basically you're building up, you're building up your house, you're building up a stature to be seen, so you can grab a man, grab a woman to commit your adulteries with.
So it's this imperious person. This is what is it called? Like they're premeditating. They purposely set out.
Yeah.
To do this.
Yeah. Think about it. When you build something, you set out to do it. You know what you're doing.
Okay.
It's like a woman that's trying to catch you in her snares.
But now ask yourself this. A lot of times, a woman, when she gets into this mind state, she ain't going to work saying, you know what, I'm going to commit adultery. She might be going to work and just going to work daily, and then over time, through the business meetings, through the through the little gatherings, through the just regular talk.
Right.
And she's looking at this guy's guns, his arms, his chest, and he's just like, she's just smiling. She's in her head saying, she didn't think of no adultery or nothing like that. She didn't think of adultery, but she's noticing this guy. Okay, this nigga's ooh, right? But then when she starts to have an argument with her husband, or what was it?
Before that,
right?
Before that, she starts to notice this guy.
That's what we're talking about.
Before the argument, what is she already doing?
Right.
Sizing them up, comparing.
No, before that, she's making sure now she goes to work and the gear is tip top on point. She getting her hair done a little bit more. The makeup is a little bit. So if you want to apply that to this scripture,
there you go.
The eminent place is her, and she's building herself up to be seen by this man, because in her mind she's like, wait a minute.
You know how she was with you? She didn't care about her weight.
She woke up.
She
didn't brush her damn teeth. Nothing.
Yeah, she didn't do none of that. But next you know, she's doing what? She want to work out.
Yeah.
She want to slim down. It's like, well, I thought you didn't give a damn.
She go to work in sweats and flip flops.
Right. You argue with her about, man, getting your weight down, getting yourself together.
And we going far because
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We're dipping into this. Y'all are trying to dip into this point of the class that we gonna get to. We gonna get there. Let's finish this part up. And I did want to say one thing too about. I love the part you brought out about the priests. And a lot of the times, 100% of the times, and I can speak for me, brothers in the school, we try to do our job. And a lot of the times we'll get random texts. And it's like, shalom, priest. I'm like, what the hell is this? Oh, well, let me give you the scriptures. Boom, 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 right? Yeah. Now, what can happen there too is, again, we do got to make sure that we're asking, hey, who is this? You got a husband? No? Okay. We can proceed with counsel. Because what happens too, again, you give that little bit of wisdom, and women that ain't in the spirit, they start looking at the wisdom you're giving out and saying, damn, I want to be a part of that. I want to have that lifestyle where this man knows his Bible, right? So what does she do? She gravitates. So we got to definitely be careful on that front, where the wisdom is not a bad thing to have, but you got to wield it the right way, and you got to use wisdom within wisdom.
Right. You got to have correct judgment to know that what's going to happen naturally.
Right.
Like we should know naturally that a woman is going to move towards power and move towards that wisdom. So you got to be careful enough to know. Like I told him, I said, listen, remind this brother that his rib is asking questions. And then make sure you text him what she's saying. Why? Because what's happening is that we don't want to be put in no predicament. You know what I mean? And it be said. So the scriptures say be found blameless. So we're saying this because there's instances that already come up with other brothers. You got to be careful.
Yeah, you get accused.
Be blameless.
Yeah, you get accused of, oh, y'all are overstepping my counsel. And
yeah.
We don't want none of that.
No,
that's
we don't
not
want
what it's
that.
about. We want to be a help, not cause confusion,
right,
and not tear down what a man is trying to build in his house.
Right. So to the young priests, to you young brothers that are, oh yeah, I was just teaching or giving them the knowledge. You better use your head.
Right.
You better say, ask and be like, hold on, is this okay? Do you got a man? If you got a man, you need to go to your husband. Yeah.
Read on.
Yeah.
Verse 31. 31.
Verse 31. In that thou buildest thine eminent place.
Read.
In the head of every way.
Come on.
And makest thine high place in every street.
Read.
And hast not been as an harlot. In that thou scornest hire.
Read. Verse 32.
32.
So you're not a harlot because you don't take the hire. What are you? Read.
But as a wife that committed adultery.
But as a what?
A wife that committed adultery.
For all you women out there that ever committed adultery, this is something that you watch all the time on. You watch all the little TV shows. You watch all the little Maury. You watch it. What does she do? She found her a new man. What's she doing? She's giving away her old man stuff to the new man. Right? You bringing the new man gifts. You giving the new man the gifts that you should be giving to your husband. You bringing him food to work. You bringing him and buying him stuff. Watch, it's going to tell us. Read on.
Which taketh strangers instead of her husband.
She does what?
Taketh strangers instead of her husband.
Read on.
33. They give gifts. They give gifts to all whores.
Read.
But thou givest thy gifts to all thy lovers.
Right. See, the Bible is telling us that the whores, the harlots are supposed to receive the gifts. But this adulterous woman, she's giving gifts to all her lovers. She's like, oh, I want you to be my lover. Here's a gift. Here, you know what the ultimate gift is? She's giving herself. She's wrapping herself up in a little bow tie. She's making sure she went and bought the brand new Vicky C's that her husband should have been seeing. But she's unwrapping that for the next man.
No more panty lines. No more panty lines at work.
No more panty lines at work.
Straight thong. You know, that way they can see it jiggle right.
All that.
Bro, listen.
It's real.
Listen.
Come on.
You know why we got to say this? Because
stop.
You should check yourself and watch how you roll. You're a Hebrew Israelite woman. You're a Hebrew Israelite man. Hebrew Israelite man. You should watch how you roll at work. If you know you thick, then you better cover that thickness up. You know what I mean?
And don't uncover it for someone, and don't switch up your flow for someone other than your husband.
You get at work and next you know the whore come out. You come home and it's a flowing dress in Hebrew, right? With a head cover, right?
But you get home, you get to work, somehow the dress got like 5 inches shorter. It's like you went to work in one outfit, end up in a whole nother one after work. Or you went to work in a mind state and end up in a whole different mind state. Because why? The little person you try to impress at work, that's who lightens your day. That's who you rather listen to. See, we got to check the mind. That's why the scripture started out saying, how weak. Read verse 30 one more time.
Verse 30. How weak is thine heart?
How weak is your heart? How weak is your heart to let your members fall into this predicament? How weak is your mind? How weak is your strength? How weak is your communication, your fortitude, your long suffering, your faith to let yourself fall to this?
That's where it goes back to miserable Israelite sisters. You want to make me miserable like the other Israelite sisters. If you're miserable, then there's a problem. There's a problem. You see, so when you get these ratchet ass bulldogs that come in and try to seduce you with that mind, you gotta know that you gotta check that at the door. Cause y'all gotta understand, man. The Most High didn't come to call the whole; He came to call the sick. Right? Christ dwelt among sinners and publicans. You're going to get people from the world that come in with these demons on them. And y'all hear me always say that. Right? You're going to get this. But it's our job to go through this Bible and cleanse them with the fire, with the purging. It's our job to cleanse them with this word. So you'll get little hoochies that come in with that hoochie mentality. Right? They'll come in with that mentality of, oh, you know what? See, you want me to be like these other sisters that are miserable. Why? Because you're miserable because you got a whore mentality on you and you want to continue to be the whore. And now that you're being pulled out of that, now you're miserable. Yeah, if you're miserable, go be the hoe then.
You want to be a mental whore.
Yeah, go be the hoe. But don't try to put that on everybody because everybody's not a whore like you.
Some people do.
Everybody don't got that whorish mentality.
That whore's forehead?
Yeah.
Yeah, some people don't hate discipline. Some people don't hate it. Some people appreciate it. Read on. Jump back down to verse 34.
34.
Read verse 33.
33. They give gifts to all whores.
Uh-huh.
But thou givest thy gifts to all thy lovers.
Read.
And hirest them.
Uh-huh.
That they may come unto thee on every side for thy whoredom.
Right. So y'all see how this adultery, listen, it happens just like that in the world, man. A woman, she'll see a little man she likes, she knows she got a boyfriend, she'll make sure that she dress herself up to the level so she's noticed. Next thing you know, she's bringing him gifts, lunch, brand new, I got sneakers for you. You find out his favorite color, what sneakers he like, what size he wear, and jeans. Come on. You find all this stuff out and you giving him gifts. Because why? You got that whore's mentality. Now, we understand that's the physical side. That's the byproduct, right? That's the byproduct of the topic of the class. How does one know that? What are the signs of spiritual adultery? Who knows? Who thinks they know one of the signs of spiritual adultery?
Attack.
We're about to jump to the next point. Jeremiah.
Wanton eyes.
Wanton eyes for a man other than your husband, right?
Or listen, I'm with you on this class, but we got to go both ways.
Well, I'm gonna let you come with the other side.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right, and I'll come with the other side because men too.
I'm not gonna lie. When I built this,
it was for women.
And my mind wasn't on the other side. Not saying I disregarded it,
but it has to be.
But that's why you're here, my brother.
It has to be because there's a lot of niggas in Israel.
Because niggas got one
niggas in Israel.
You got brothers that are sitting in the damn class looking back,
right,
winking at sisters.
All right, we have brothers not coming to class anymore because we put them on blast. We got brothers like they ain't here. Why? Because they were the same ones that would turn around and smile at a sister. So we got to put this this shouldn't be in none of the schools. So it takes a weeding out. And that we gonna let everybody know what we're not about. And if it is creeping in, it ain't because we letting it in. It's because we gotta keep on it, cutting it out. Yeah. You see that? We gotta remember, the Most High didn't call the hoe. He ain't calling everybody with white robes and pure virgins. He's calling ex-drug dealers, dope dealers, killers, whores, hoochies, on the pole, strippers, adulterers, adulterers. He's calling all of them, but as they come in, we got to remind them, put off the old man, put on the new man. So we got to understand that there's a lot of men that, well, like I said, listen, you're looking at her butt, she's with her dude. This is that adultery that's going on in your mind. You know, you're looking at her at work, you know she got a man. You're creating this in your mind.
You sitting in class looking at sisters.
Yeah.
And you don't know whether or not, you got brothers that come up in here, first thing they ask is, who's married? Who got a wife? First of all, that's garbage. That shouldn't be your first question. Who got a wife or whose wife is that? Nigga, stop. Get your mind right. And then even if you don't know if she's married or not, your mind shouldn't be on, let me look at her booty. Let me check her out. You're here to get the spirit right.
They come, and this is why this is an important topic and why we got to hit all levels. Because they come in with the wrong mind. They come in with the wrong spirit. They come in with that Facebook mentality of, I'm looking for a Yisraelite sister or a Yisraelite man.
Yisraelite man with fringes and a beard. I love it.
Right. It's not about the truth. It's not about the knowledge. It's about a woman. It's about what they can gain.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hit y'all with a few. How do you know you're in a? How do you know you're? I'm gonna give y'all some examples of how you commit spiritual adultery. First, you hide your relationship from your partner. You hide your relationship from your partner. Yeah. You know, hey babe, who are you texting? Oh, nobody. Nobody. This is just somebody at work. I ain't texting nobody. It's just somebody at work. You try to hide it like it's nobody, but you just spent 8 hours texting this person. So you were just texting to the air. You just talking to the air for 4 hours? Like, come on. So you hide your relationship with this man or with this woman. And for some of y'all that got that dyke spirit on you, you hide him. Some of y'all, man, listen, I hate to say it, but some of y'all in your former lives have done some real filthiness. And if you're a woman, you've been with other women, and you haven't yet eradicated fully that dyke spirit. So you might deal with some lesbian in the world, and you know your husband ain't with it, but you still find a way to communicate on a level that's off. And you try to act like, oh, it's nothing. Actually, it's just a friend. But your past, you should look at your past and say, well, it's just a friend, but what am I going to fall into if I open up the doors? If I let the guard down? If I don't keep my mind right, what is it going to turn into? Is that going to be my reason for leaving the truth? Next thing you know, you a dyke again? I mean, gotta say it, because it's real. So, number one, you hide the relationship from your partner. Then when they find out, number two, your unwillingness to let go of the relationship. So you get checked, like, listen, you don't need to be dealing with this man or talking to this man or texting this man. If it's a work person, keep that at work. Ain't no need for no extra texting. The hell is some random coworker texting you for? Whatever y'all got to talk about can be handled at work. I get it. Some of y'all got a position where you're the boss, and a coworker might need to hit you up like, hey, I'm having a problem with this, or I need this, and you got to walk them through it. Okay, fine, I get that. But when it goes into damn emoji faces and I'm your boo and all that, cut that. That's off. Husband finds out, cut that out. You still carrying it on. That's number two. Number three. There it is. You start contacting each other outside of the work or friendship time. Listen, we can't be naive to the fact that, and I'm going to use myself. I can't be naive to the fact that my rib works out in the world, and she's going to develop friendships with men and women. That's just what's called for. But there's a level of respect where it breaches friendship and work environment, where it goes past now and it breaches into this level of spiritual adultery. Okay? Number four, you find yourself sharing intimate details with this so-called friend. So now instead of being intimate with your husband on the things that's going on with you, it's like you come home, hey, shalom, babe, how you doing? Good. Well, oh, what happened at work? Nothing. It's like, damn, I can't get nothing out of you. But this man that you've been googly-eyed for, he texts you up like, hey, how's your day? What's going on? You dropping paragraphs. You dropping paragraphs on your day. Well, yeah, today, I woke up and I hit the grocery store and I did this, took the kids, da-da-da-da. You never ever mentioned one time your husband. You never ever talk about him. But when do you talk about him? Here's another sign. You talking down on your husband. That's another sign. When you're talking about your husband in a negative light to another man. And if you're a lesbian, to another woman.
For a man to sit there to me like and listen to that, that's gay. Even when I was in the world, I used to tell girls, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about that, man. That's gay if a man gonna sit there. So and that's giving into your feminine spirit to me, like, and I don't know. That's how I always took it. Like,
that's how these women get took, because what it is this. And when I say they get took, this is how they get smashed in the damn face with the, damn, he did you like that? Oh man. Man, he ain't no good. You deserve better, girl. And then you sitting there thinking like, damn, I do deserve better. And your dumbass is thinking that the dude you're sitting in front of is going to give you better. Well, guess what? He ain't. Give it 6 months. You're going to be in the same damn boat. But the problem is the dude that you sitting in front of, he ain't got no wisdom. Because you tricking off on a man that got wisdom, knowledge, understanding. But the dude you sitting in front of, he like to smoke weed and play PlayStation. He just ain't told you yet. You just ain't got to that point yet. So 6 months later, when you make that fatal mistake and commit the physical act, then move in with this idiot after 6 months, and all he does is get high, play PlayStation, and beat you. You sit there and you have what? Regrets. You sit there mad as hell, crunchy, small as hell, because you're like, damn, this is what I gave up a man with wisdom to be with a damn PlayStation weed head?
Or how about you get the man, he's bending knees, flowers on your beds. You know, he sings to you when you come in, woo, 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 woo.
Damn.
Right? You still committed adultery. In the Most High eyes, you're supposed to be put to death anyway. So, you know, you might not get, because it's sad to say, you might not get the guy that gets high and play video games. You might get the business guy that makes money, comes home, and he look at you in his face, in your face, and he's good. He treats you according to that worldly mentality, right? The one you were looking for. Because you didn't want this nigga that's telling you the Bible.
Right.
You didn't want this nigga that's telling you that dress is too short. You know what I mean? You know what? I can see your bra through that.
You don't want that.
You don't want that.
But then you got the guy that got the money.
You got him.
He can
you got what you wanted.
He can pay, but then this is something always is attached. Because while he's paying for all your little lavish expenses and giving you everything you want, you ain't the only one. You ain't the only one, because he got like 4 other side pieces out of town. So yeah, he's paying for all your stuff and bringing you home packages, the disease kind. Mark.
When I first came to the truth, I had this girl, like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have no wisdom. She was a good chick, like, but when I would come into the truth, like, most I was just putting enmity towards, like, me and my parents, her. So she started talking to this dude or whatever. I was trying to get my mind right, so I'm like, man, we need to take a break. She started talking to this dude she was working with. So then, boom, I come back in. She trying to juggle both of us. This dude starts doing all that stuff, being the baby, woo-doo. She's telling me it's the first time I ever got flowers from a dude. You never did this, woo-doo.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can give it, that's really fake. That's not a real man's spirit. She don't go for that. My mom was co-signing them too, woo-doo. So long story short, they're supposed to get engaged or whatever. I talked to her like a year ago or a year or two ago. She didn't want to say it, but that's dead. All the pictures that she had with him on social media, she re-added me back. She started pouring out her spirit to me like, yeah, I didn't want to even tell you, because she moved to Wichita Falls to be a news reporter. I didn't want to tell you when I called you that whole week, I was sick. I really had mono. The nigga done gave her mono or I don't know what else. Damn. Was engaged, but all that's done. So even if they do that, they find that sweet dude. He was taking on trips. Most I ain't blessing that.
Yeah, because he ain't going to kill you. I mean, the Most High ain't going to kill you right away, but he's going to kill that situation. Them children ain't going to take root. You're going to go through all types of, because you think you got what you, which one?
The children of adultery.
No, because, no, I don't have that. I wasn't going on that level. I don't have that. You want that?
I did.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go up. Get that.
Go get that? He said I did.
I did. I did.
I do, my friend.
Go ahead.
No, I didn't go there only because,
Go there real quick. Just on that point. I mean, it was quoted. So.
Yeah, I quoted it. Yeah, I did quote it.
Go ahead, read that.
It's Ecclesiastes verse, chapter 23. Which verse is it start at?
23.
Ecclesiastes 23 and.
23 and 23.
No. I got that. Y'all are.
That's where we at. That's where I just asked.
Yeah, y'all are jumping.
We're jumping, right?
Well, if you want to hit the point, see, y'all are jumping my scriptures.
Yeah.
I got that. I do have that.
That's why I asked.
I do have that.
All right, well, hold that. We'll wait till he puts it in there.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, so let's see here. Let's go to the next point. So we say you share intimate details. You share frustrations about your partner. Right? Check this out. Sudden or increased avoidance of sex. You no longer want to be intimate with your husband or wife. Because this emotional, you gotta understand, this emotional affair, this spiritual adultery is taking something out of you. It's taking your attention away from what's in front of you and putting it on your phone with the person that you want to keep up with. So you're taking away from your husband, from your wife, and putting into this other person, thinking that that's going to be prosperous. It don't make sense. sudden or increased emotional distance. Okay, so those are the, and there's one sign that I didn't throw in yet. I didn't throw that in yet, but we're going to get there. So where does this all come from? Where does it all start? Well, we read in Ezekiel that said, how weak is your heart, right? In Ezekiel 30, it said, how weak is thine heart? So we got to understand that adultery starts in the mind. It starts in your thought process. Jeremiah.
I used to notice that in the world, because like, even before I knew the truth, like when women would come to me, and when they started talking about their husband, but it wasn't in a good way, or the man that they was with, I always knew, like, when a woman started talking to you like that, she's either interested in you, or she's trying to, you know what I'm saying? But really, she's trying to pass herself off to you.
Yeah.
Like, she no longer want to be with the dude.
Yeah.
I used to black it out and be like, no, you know, you need to talk to him, or whatever, because I was always had the mentality, even when I was in the world, being a player. But if I seen a ring, or if I know you had a man, it was like, nah, I don't know no business.
Messing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's really like, man, he don't treat me right. What you gonna do for me? You might as well just say that.
Right.
He don't treat me right. How are you gonna remedy that? That's what they really want to ask. Right. They just don't do it.
And they get mad at you, and I be like, okay, well, you telling me, Joe, everybody gonna make themselves sound good. So what is it that you did to him for him to be doing that? And they don't want to talk about it.
Y'all understand that, sisters, that you got to be very careful when your heart starts to waver and it starts to feel battered and you start to get weathered. You start to get, winded in the spirit, like, I'm just waiting to exhale. You gotta watch that, because what's gonna happen is the island guy is gonna come true and he's gonna try to sweep you off his feet. And with my bad Jamaican accent, or Sancho man, he's gonna come with his cape and he's gonna do what? Swoop in, doing merengue, and
or the bull dyke. Or the bull dyke's gonna slide.
Oh yeah, the bull dyke friend.
Looking like a light skinned Chris Brown gonna try to slide in.
Manny Fresh.
Yeah, looking like Manny Fresh gonna slide in and try to get you off your game. And try to get because think about it. When you talk to these women, they tell you why they turned dyke. Because every nigga that ran through them and every relationship with a dude went bad. But she knows how to treat me. She looks like a man. It looking like a man.
Like Justin Bieber.
It looked just like, it looked like Justin Bieber, right? But it's a woman. So she has that female intellect and instinct on how to treat me, but she looks like a man, so I can deal with that. That's how you get swept up in there, man, because what did you do? You let your guard down to the wrong person. You emptied out your brain to the person that was waiting for you to do so they could take advantage.
Now, I'm not going to take his class all over and go into a whole different perspective, but dealing with this mind state, you got to understand, where does that mind state come from? That heavy heart comes from, tell me, where does a heavy heart, no, not you.
Women.
Women. Where does a heavy heart start to come from in a relationship? And when you think of a heavy heart, think of where there's a detachment from, it's like, words like, he just doesn't understand me. You know what I mean? Or, what did I get? What I got a while back? This was a long time ago, like back in the beginning, right? This was you don't know what I like. You don't know my favorite color. You don't know what I like to eat. You know what those are? Those are, you're not romantic enough. You are not connected with me.
Yeah.
That lingo means that you don't know my inner heart.
We don't have anything.
So when you tell me that, if my ribs told me that, and Lord knows they would never tell me anything like that, right? So if my ribs told me something like that, the first thing that would be in my mind was, so I don't know what you eat. I don't know what you like, what movies you like. You know what I mean? I don't know none of these things about you. Then who does?
Right. Exactly.
If I don't know, then who does? Right? I'm saying to myself, damn, if I'm not that nigga, right? Then who is? Who's the guy sweeping you off the feet if it ain't me? Right? But see, when you're looking, the heavy heart
creates a gap. And that gap has to be filled. As a woman, y'all know that. The gap has to be filled with. All it takes is like, you get to be broken down to that point to where it's like, I needed this. Somebody refreshing. This nigga, look at him. Look at his hair. Look at his body. Look how he's talking to me. He's listening. That nigga over there, all he's doing is throwing the Bible at me. You know what I mean? Every time he talks, he's what? Scripture man. Like, he ain't really listening to this. No, we ain't listening to the carnal madness inside of you. We ain't listening to that old woman that you're trying to promote. We're constantly doing like Jeremiah said, we're breaking down. Be very careful when you're in this heavy heart stage. Because this is where this class goes into.
Vulnerable.
It goes into the vulnerable points. And when you're vulnerable, come on now.
Like the scriptures say, any man will take any woman.
Any woman will take a man.
Any woman will take a man.
Any man.
Pardon me. That's what I meant.
Right. Any woman will receive a man. Why? Because it's vulnerable time. And like y'all said earlier, now he comes in and he's like, you know what? It could be something that when you're emotional, think about how quick you're ready to cry on emotions. Like, right? Somebody just gave you something. Somebody.
He gave you fries from Chick-fil-A.
Right. He just came in and smelled good and said, how you doing today, girl? Yeah. Right? And you were like, damn, you know what, really, let's talk in the bathroom, in the toilet. Because I can't really express myself regularly.
Out in the open.
Right. You see what I'm saying? You got to watch it. What's that, sis?
I was just going to say, that on the point that you're saying, when your heart is like that,
yeah.
and you're vulnerable,
yeah.
and like the scripture was saying, you're weak.
Yeah.
Weak is thine heart.
Yeah.
The scripture that came to mind is your heart becomes desperately
wicked.
Jeremiah 17:9. We got that.
And that's when you're like easily deceived and you just fall for it.
Yeah, you fall for it. You fall for it. And here's the question: how many times you gonna fall for it? How many times you gonna fall for it and not understand that relationships, unity, love is built. Understanding each other and knowing each other is built. It ain't there's no such thing as love at first sight. There's what's the word? Lust at first sight, but there's another word.
Infatuation.
Infatuation at first sight. But there ain't no, I love that person.
And that's what that goes.
You love him like when the movie star gets up and says, I thank God for this reward.
Yeah, I want to thank God.
I love all my fans.
Yep, that's how you love.
That's how you love. But there ain't no such thing as love at first sight. You got to get to know this person. Right? Go ahead.
But some of y'all fall for that, though. Y'all fall for it because you look at your situation, and it's not the situation that you're ready to accept. It's not that you don't want it. You're just at a point where you're not ready to accept, and you're not willing to accept what? The correction you got to go through, the change you got to go through. So now when that stuff is being brought to your front door, now when everything you do is being checked and being looked over, that's when you, for some reason, get weak. Like, oh, now I'm weak. Now I get into my vulnerable state. And then when Sancho comes by and he's not checking a damn thing, except for how big your booty is. He ain't checking a damn thing except for how he can take you out that night. You're like, damn, this is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that easy way out. And y'all give in, man. Y'all, some of y'all give in for a damn value meal at Chick-fil-A. It's sad. Like, he bought me lunch, so I got to be with him. But your husband provides wisdom, knowledge, understanding, a house, children, longevity. But yeah, he gave me a Happy Meal, girl, and some flowers. Yeah, he rubs my feet. My husband don't do that. He rubs my feet. He rubs my back. My husband don't even do that. So what? But it just shows you the mind. So the hell what? You know what I mean? But it shows the mind, and that's why it says, how weak is thine heart? Right. Because it's like where your heart is, that's where you're trying to go.
When I'm laughing when he says so what, meaning that you base everything on a whole damn massage.
On a massage. But literally, I've heard it.
Yeah. I mean, we've all heard that, right? But what it is what we're trying to get to a lot of women, in this perspective is that's the carnal mind. That's your carnal mind. The way you're judging things is carnally. You're not looking at nothing spiritually. So be careful when this heavy heart comes in.
Even some of y'all dudes, y'all excuses like, oh, she bought me a pair of Jordans, or she bought me this, or she got me this. Come on, man. She paid my child support. Come on, man. Listen, I've heard it. Like, why you cheating on your wife? Oh, well, she be paying my child support. She be buying me that dime sack. She be keeping a nigga right. And I'm like, what? That's all it took? Was a couple monthly payments on the child support? Some crusty ass aluminum rims? Like, come on, man. We gotta see the things that when we're weak, how Satan presents to us for us to trip and fall. But that weakness comes from weakness of mind. Where does all this start? It starts in the thought. Go to Matthew. Go to Proverbs 6:25. Go to Proverbs 6 and verse 25. Somebody else get Matthew 5:28. Proverbs 6:25.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 25. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart.
Where?
In thine heart.
Wait. So it's saying lust not after her beauty. And I'm going to say him and her, right? You ain't supposed to lust after a man or a woman of their beauty in where?
In your heart.
In your heart, in your mind. Meaning, listen, I could look at a woman all day and say, damn, she's pretty, and then move on. Or just look at a woman and not even have a thought. Like, oh, that's a woman. But now when it gets to the point where I'm like, damn, she's dropped that gorgeous, oh, I gotta be with that. Where does it start? It starts here, because this is what happens. You get the thought, you see the woman, right? Your eyes work. We all got 20/20 vision up in here, right? Your eyes work, you see her. You might muster up the courage to go holler at her. You might look down and see that ring and say, okay, damn, she got a husband. Or she might not, but she might tell you, yeah, I got a boyfriend. There's two things that can happen. For some idiots, I have a boyfriend that's like code for me to keep pushing harder and harder to get your number. That's for some dumb brothers. Like, oh, I got a man. And in your mind, you're like, oh yeah, I gotta really get that now. That's the evil niggas in the world. Right? But a righteous, holy brother of the truth is like, oh, you got a wife? Oh, you got a husband? Oh, I'm sorry. And you immediately sever ties. Right? But see that lust, if you let this lust build, and if you let lust guide you, what happens is, oh, I got a husband. And you're like, well, what? And then you get into all the rap songs. What your man got to do with me? I ain't trying to hear that, G. Right? I know the song. I know I'm old school. But that's where it goes, where it's like, well, you got a man. What that got to do with me? You know that's that old player-ass line. You got a man? What that got to do with me?
He ain't me, though.
He ain't me, though, right? You get all the little rebuttals and comebacks. You get all the little quick snaps. Because why? Your lust is driving you to do what? To do what a man does, which is conquer. Right? But we got to understand, what are you trying to conquer? Why are you trying to conquer another man's castle?
Then you end up getting shot, because the Bible said the jealousy of man is his rage. And the fire ain't be quenched. I know, like, I don't feel like when if I seen like a girl, you been talking to somebody, like, I want to go knock that man head off his shoulders. And it's like, it's how much more worldly, man. Like, that's why these people be, like, I'm not like, Issachar is good for that in Houston. Like, he would shoot up his whole family, his wife included, then kill himself over that, because the jealousy of a man is his rage. So you can't have a fire when you do that type of stuff.
But this is how this is how we prevent that. This is how we prevent it on all fronts, where we got to understand, where does the adultery, it's just like, where does murder start? It starts in the mind. Where does anything start?
In the mind.
Where does good start?
In the mind.
In the mind. So if we know that if we promote good through the spirit of our mind, how come we can't, or if we can manifest, I'm going to use that word. If we can manifest good things according to the will of the Most High through our thoughts, how come we can't manifest good things as far as not committing adultery, not falling weak, not getting to the point where lust is carrying us? We can, but we got to recognize, where does it start? Go to Matthew 5:38. So now we get a little bit more, and you know, just showing you what was Christ talking about when he said, when you lust after a woman in your heart. Where does these thoughts of lust start, and where does the action come from? Matthew chapter 5, 28.
28. Matthew chapter 5, verse 28.
But
I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her.
Wait, to do what?
To lust after her.
Because you can look at a woman and say, damn, that's a beautiful woman. Is that lust? Where does the lust come in?
When you start imagining with her.
Yeah, when you start looking at, damn, I wonder where her chest size is and what's her waist size, and she's a 26, 36. What's the measurement? 26, 36, 24?
26, 36, 24.
Yeah, you start throwing out the measurements.
26,
36.
Yeah. And that ain't really what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope it ain't. But you start throwing them, you start sizing her up to do what? Why would a man size something up? You trying to look at how can I get in? How can I conquer that? You checking for weaknesses and yeah, she got nice teeth. I like chicks with nice teeth. Yeah, she got glasses. Every chick I've dated got glasses. Damn, she got nice hair. Our kids would have nice hair together. You start getting on that level, it's like, damn, you didn't even answer her name yet. You didn't even find out her status, but you're so lust driven that what? You jumped the whole process of even introducing yourself. In your mind, you in the bedroom already. You already married her. or hit it and left, because you ain't trying to marry it. Right? But we gotta see, where does it all start? It all starts with your secret thoughts. Because think about it, in your mind, I could be standing right next to a brother and see a chick walk by, and in my mind, I'm like, damn, she got a fat booty. I can say that right in my mind. Is it wrong or is it right? Is it wrong or is it right?
It's kind of neutral if you don't know.
It's wrong. Because my first thing that I see on a person, especially a woman, shouldn't be like, damn, she got a fat booty. That shouldn't be my first thought.
It's kind of hard.
But it's hard.
You know what you do?
I rebuke my, I be like, man.
Look up. Eye contact.
The scriptures say that's why the scripture says go to your apocrypha. It's Ecclesiasticus. This is why the scripture tells us this, and I mean none is blameless. But Ecclesiasticus, I doubt it's in 25. It's 9. 9 and 5. And then go to Ecclesiasticus 41 and 21. Go ahead and read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 9, verse 5. Gaze not on a maid, that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her.
You see that? That's why he's saying keep your head up. You know, don't let your first thing be looking is down, because then you're looking at the wrong thing. Gaze not on a maid. Right? What is he saying? He's saying you're looking at her assets. You're looking at her physical things, her breasts, her butt. Obviously, 90% of them out there, especially where we work at, they got nothing but butt out, breasts out. But if you're looking up, you're looking at her face, then you're going to start thinking different, as opposed to you look at her butt. It's going to entice you. You see that?
Because what does it go back to? Think about it. It goes back to that Ezekiel. These women build themselves up in a way to do what? To catch you. They build up themselves, but how do they do it? Are they really building themselves, or are they just throwing on some spandex? Throwing on some spandex, a dirty weave, and some lipstick. Right? So that's considered building yourself up. But they do it because they know what? Niggas is going to be looking at me, girl. They're going to be looking at me, so I'm going to make sure that my spandex is the most tightest, most thinnest material, so when I arch my back just a little bit, then you're going to be able to see my drawers through the spandex. My black drawers through black spandex. Think about it. I'm going to make sure my lipstick is just bright enough that when I bend that corner, he's going to see the puckering of my lips. And then I'm going to make sure my weave, even though I haven't took it out in 6 months, I'm going to make sure it's just combed just right so that when he sees me walk through the mall, it flows when it hits the AC. I'm going to make sure of these things, because why? I'm building myself up because I got that adulterous spirit, but I'm going to build myself to where I'm going to catch the first thing that's weak.
Yeah. Like me being without real right now, right? Like Satan know that too. So like some of the women, they know they have a spirit on them. Cause I can be in the barber shop, you know, we got the glass window.
Yeah.
And every spot right there where I work at,
it's
all just women.
Right.
You know, got the daycare, you got the dentist and the child,
right.
the child doctor. So that's all you see all day. And so sometimes I just look and it just be their booty right there. Right. Then I'll be like, oh man, forget that. Then they'll move. Like they'll actually like me. Or it'll be some women, if I see myself like look, if I see myself look too long, you can see it's like they know you looking, then you check yourself, cover nothing there, wife, then
right.
Bro, that spirit disappear like dip up.
Right.
Like, some of them doing it knowingly and some unknowingly, but it be like spirits that just be on them.
Right. You're that spiritual man though. You're working on your spirit now. You know, as
right, because I'm working with a lust demon.
Right.
So it's like.
But you're fighting it. You're battling it.
Right.
But of course that's what Satan do. He know what you're battling, so he gonna put everything there to try to break you. See, but the more you get stronger and you deny the flesh, it's gonna get stronger. But I mean, back to the point, what we were saying is that what the scriptures is saying, try to start looking up. As opposed to first thing you do is you like.
Nah, but I'm not even looking down. It's
not you. I'm just saying.
Like how it be happening.
Yeah.
I might just, you just get something to just be like, look, when you look.
Yeah, it's some. Listen, the reality of it is this: you can look up all you want, but then her butt hits you in the face. You know what I mean? It's hard, but the point is to avoid this spiritual fornication, this mind state to where all you're doing is lusting in your mind, is that you got to gain control of those eyes, and don't let that desire start to control you, right? And bringing it back to the woman, the same thing with the woman, right?
Yeah.
That she is not looking at the carnal things that she thinks is more appealing to her, which is the lust of the eyes, right? What's more appealing? This Hebrew Israelite beard, hairy Bible man, or smooth Sancho man, you know, that wears the tight jeans where his bulge sticks through, and where you can just look but not look, but the Most High know what's in your spirit. You know what's in your heart. See, and that's the thing, that you got to understand that this is creating those thoughts within you. That's the point of this topic. We could have just went through adultery and said the end. It's deeper than that. That's what Yahweh Shai is going to talk about. It's deeper. It's about looking at what you're creating in your spirit. And I think the point of Quatazab's class is to show sisters that in this vulnerable time, the reason why you're so easy to bounce on your husband, and you're so easy to go commit adultery, and you're so easy to deny what is real love and compassion and mercy and unity and what a real husband is because you are steadily looking at the outward things on what you think is a husband. Like you said, the carnal, he massages my feet. He leaves a rose on my bed. And not understanding the relationship, like I tell my ribs all the time, our relationship and the truth is based off of different principles than the world. It's different principles. It ain't just based on we woo each other. It's based on a higher standard, which is giving ourselves to the service and office and duty. Yes, you still can be romantic. Yes, you can still dress sexy for your husband. You can still, brothers can do a push-up or two for her. You know what I mean? It can still be that. But the principles of it that are keeping us bound together can't be based on you don't listen to me. Like, I do listen to you. I just chop your ass up all the time you come with the madness. I gotta listen to you. I got ears. I hear what you're saying. But I'm just getting the Bible ready and put it in the bullets in the gun when you start speaking foolishly. But that don't mean I'm not listening to you.
See, it's things like that. It's talk like that that gets you to say, you know what? We don't got a connection. Why we don't got a connection? Because you don't listen to me. What do you mean I don't listen to you? I totally hear you. My eyes are bad, but my ears ain't. I heard what you just said. And what you're saying is out of the Spirit. So now let me come with the Bible. And that's what you're saying. You don't listen to me because you come with the Bible. That don't mean that. And it's these things that get your heart in its heavy moments to start looking elsewhere. What's that, sis?
I was just going to say, on your point, when you are in that right mind state, then that conversation, that chopping you down, even though it might hurt, that is actually sexy.
Right.
That is supposed to be what we find
right.
appealing about our husband.
Right, appealing about my husband. Yeah.
The fact that we, that spiritual connection, that he's cleaning us up.
It's like, and I'll say something good that my, and I'm not saying I've been saying negative about them, but something my rib says all the time is that you're the only man that stuck in there with me because I am crazy. Well, that's the reality of it. Is like, right, I'm the only man that, listen, because if I was in the world, I would have been past. I would have hit it and said, this is crazy. Yeah. I'm done with that. You know, you see that? So that you're not gonna, none of us is like hiding up under your car. You don't get that from a real spiritual man, hiding up under the car, keying your car, you know, checking your phone every day. If he's mature and he's spiritual, he ain't doing all that. You know what you dislike from your husband? That he's sharp as hell, and every time you open up your mouth, it's with a scripture, and it's chopping your spirit up, and you know it's true, but you can't do nothing about it because you hate to look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you are that person. That's really what it is. And then when you realize you're that person, and he's so sharp at chopping your ass up, you're what? You hate him for that. But that's the carnal woman. You want the Disneyland or the Disney World or the Disney movie type of relationship, which is what? Everything you do is cute.
Yeah, that's just my boo.
Yeah, that's my boo. Oh, she's gonna dress like a hoe. Just let her go. That's just how she is. You know what I mean? Oh, she's gonna talk like a little ratchet bulldog. You know what? That's just how she is. You know, oh, she's going to be disrespectful to everybody around her, and I'm gonna put up with it. That's just how she is. But your Israelite husband is changing you. No, that's all. That's wrong. The scriptures say be like this. No, that's wrong. So you gotta understand, and I'm gonna say it again. What is bringing this heavy heart? That's easy for the man, Sancho man, to come up in there and say, oh, you know what? There's something better out here. And it's me doing merengue all night with you into the sunset.
Right.
Spinning you around.
No shirt on.
Right? What's up?
You gotta start using that name. That's a rapper in Houston. That's a pimp.
What, Sancho man?
Sancho.
Well, Sancho means other man in Spanish.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, that Sancho, yeah. That basically, Sancho, it doesn't, I don't know if it means other man. It does mean?
So Sancho is other
man. So there you go. Sancho, I always knew it as the side nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe, you know, the deeper definition.
You got Sancho also. You got Sancho.
Sancho, the side nigga. Like, you know, Captain Saberho. He's going to come in and he's going to fix what you messed up. But, you know, this is where this mentality the world has instilled in our women, the women of Israel, right? And it doesn't fix nothing, right? Because really, in reality, what a woman is looking for longevity. She's looking for structure and longevity. See, that's the epitome of an Israelite man.
Yeah, y'all just think it comes in the form of a nigga with abs and good hair. It comes in wisdom. That's the thing.
But are you saying that they can't have good hair?
I'm not saying you can't have good hair and abs.
Oh, okay.
Some cats work out, you know what I'm saying? But if that's all you seeing, then that's the problem. Read where you at in Matthew. Go to Matthew 5 and verse 28. So the whole point is to bring it and show where's all these thoughts coming from? Where is the infiltration? Where does it begin? It begins in the mind. Your heart's been weakened. You know, for a man, where is it in his mind that his mind is not strong? I'm gonna show y'all something. Cause y'all said, oh well, you know, there's fat booties everywhere. They just walk on by, right? I'm gonna show y'all something. Read Matthew, and then I'm gonna show y'all something. I wasn't gonna put it in here, but I'm gonna put it. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 28.
Read.
But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her.
To do what?
Lust after her.
Right, you're not looking at her like, damn, this is a sister. This is an Israelite sister that might need the knowledge. The first thing you think is, how am I going to hit that, split that, and impregnate that? Read.
Hath committed adultery with her already.
Go ahead.
In his heart.
In his what?
In his heart.
Yeah, you've already committed secret adultery. You've already committed this secret sin. Go to Psalms 44 and verse 21. Psalms 44 and 21. Somebody else get Job 31 and 1. I'm going to pick up the pace just a small tad. All we want to get through is Psalms 44 and 21. Because this is very important. Now you've committed this secret sin, right? In your mind, you're thinking like, it's all good. I thought that to myself. I'm cool. But you do that enough times, and trust me, you'll start to act. You'll start to act on your secret. But in your mind, you're thinking like, wow, nobody's finding me out. Who's going to check me? Right? Even the sisters that got a husband, and you sitting there admiring some man for the way he dresses, and there's nothing wrong with looking at a guy and saying, damn, that guy dresses nice. But when you like, damn, he dresses nice, I want him, there's something wrong. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, that's a nice shirt. Where'd you get that? I'd like something like that for my husband. But you like, man, that's a nice shirt. I want to see you out of it, right? Because that's where the thoughts go. Like, I wonder what his muscles look like, girl. Or I wonder what he smells like. Or I wonder what his house is. And then you start trying to think about all the things that are supposed to be covered. Think about it. You start thinking about the things that are kept in secret. You try to uncover those with your thoughts. Read.
The book of Psalms, chapter 44, verse 21. Shall not God search this out?
Shall not what?
God search this out.
Your husband might not know. He ain't going to check the phone. He ain't going to put the GPS tracker on you. He ain't going to pop up out the trunk like some crazy niggas do. He ain't going to be just riding under the car trying to see who you creeping with or who you going to lunch with. He ain't going to show up to your job on lunch when you told him, yeah, I'll be at work for lunch, but then you creeped off to the damn Wendy's with some other dude. He's not going to just pop up with the dude from Cheaters. What's the dude's name?
Joey Greco.
Joe Greco. He ain't popping up with Joey Greco from Cheaters, right? Because he knows that he don't got to do that. Because in your mind, you're like, he ain't going to see me. My husband don't know. He's at the mall doing what he's doing, and I'm over here creeping off I'm creeping off in my mind first. This is the thing. I've already crept off in my mind. So you're thinking like nobody can see my thoughts. But read it again.
Shall not Yahweh search this out?
Come on.
For he knoweth the secrets of the heart.
He knows the secrets of what?
The heart.
He knows the secrets of the heart. So what does that mean? That means going back to what y'all two said about there's all types of scatterness walking around, right? Somebody read Job 31 and verse 1. I'm going to show y'all something. I wasn't going to put this in, but it's something that you said where we're all supposed to be spiritual men, right? And the spiritual man foreseeth the evil. So this is what you have to do to prevent yourself from falling into this mind trap. Read Job 31 and verse 1.
Job chapter 31 and verse 1. I made a covenant with mine eyes.
You have to do what?
Make a covenant with mine eyes.
You got to make a covenant with your damn eyes and say, you know what? I'm going to look every chick in the face. I ain't looking down at no damn V-cut shirts. You know, they have their little bosom out. I'm not looking down. I'm going to make a covenant with my eyes to the point where I got to check myself every minute. If my eyes start to creep, nope, eye contact. Oh, eye contact. Because I know as soon as I gaze down past that waistline, my mind is going to go where? Into fat booty lust mode.
Yeah, because that's, I went over to the zone yesterday. and the little Israeli.
She ain't little.
She ain't little.
Her ain't small.
But I'm talking to the brothers, and I'm like minding my business, and she come over there stand right in front of me with the top cut off. Of course, she got on what? What class?
Spandex.
She got on the spandex, right? And she just like talking to him, smiling, and I'm like, so I'm like, it's irritating to me. I want to punch you in the face at this point, right? Because don't come over there with all that madness. So I just had to really I was like, okay, she interrupted our talk. I just walked away because that's a spirit.
Because if you stand there,
you're trying to mess
like,
with me.
Right.
Yeah, because
the way she dresses.
Yeah, the way she dresses. I'm like looking at her. I'm like, okay, you come over here with your boobs out. You come over here with your spandex on. I'm looking at her, but I'm looking at her body, but I'm looking at her irritated because you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Let me just walk over on the other side of the cart because this demon is just doing this on purpose.
Not entertain the demon.
That's what I was saying. They get irritated when they see they not getting what they want from you.
Right.
That attention. They try to like make a scene just to try to make you look at them.
She does that. She be doing her little bend up. I'm tired of looking at anything in the mall because it's all the same to me now. I'm jaded.
It's this girl on my job. She'll do that, right? But we sit as the sales pitch. And backstory, she recently she was engaged. She broke out her engagement because her fiance cheated on her or whatever. But she comes in some tight stuff. She's built, nice. But she'll come by somebody's desk randomly, bend over right in front of your desk, and they'd be
But now let me throw this in here. What do you think is happening on Snapchat?
Oh yeah, the same thing.
So, and this is why I said we gotta apply it to brothers, because brothers be aimlessly through slut chat, and all they got in their Snapchat is women. Random hoes, right? What do you think brothers are doing? When you through Snapchat looking at scattered booty, what are you doing? You don't know if they got a man.
Right.
You ain't sitting there because you want to teach them. Like, you know what, brother? I'm gonna teach her.
I'm gonna get her out of that unrighteousness.
Yeah, I'm gonna lead her into the path of light. No, you sitting there like, whoa, okay, read. Right?
You watch all 10,000 of her snaps?
Yeah, you're lusting. You're lusting, and then you ask yourself, why do I want to be inordinate with my rib? Why do I want to get another rib? Why do I want to... You see that? Why? Because you're entertaining this madness. You see that?
I keep it real, on Instagram, it's pretty bad. But, I'm seeing what you're saying now, so it's very damn.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I had to throw it in there, because brothers try to. That's why I said don't start getting over righteous out of me. Yeah, he's like, women they be doing that, but brothers, you be doing it too.
Scriptures do say
what? What it say?
The beauty of a woman tears the countenance.
Nah, bro, but not the beauty of somebody else's wife.
You don't. On Instagram, something like.
You don't know. That's the point.
That's the problem.
That's the whole point. You don't know. So another man's wife don't supposed to cheer you up.
Okay.
Stop this guy, man.
Read the scripture one more time. Right?
Nah, man.
Read the scripture one more time.
Job,
because this is where that thought process. This is where it's gonna get you. Read.
Yeah. Job chapter 31 and verse 1. I made a covenant with mine eyes.
Come on.
When then should I think upon a maid?
It says, why then should I think upon a maid? Right? Because the thought process, it ain't righteous. See, brothers' thought process when they think upon these maids, you ain't thinking about, you're not even thinking in this way. You're not even thinking like, you know what, she might make a good wife someday. You're thinking about she might just make a good one-night hit. That's the thought. Or damn, she just got good body parts. But you're not thinking about anything longevity, anything righteous. I mean, let's be honest. The chicks on Snapchat, the chicks on social media, first of all, you know what's sad? You don't even know half of them. Really, you don't even know them. You got 1,000 Snapchat followers and you really only know 5 of them. The other ones are really random. So now you're scrolling through all this random butt And you're thinking like, damn, that's nice. But you don't know if she's married. You don't know if she's single. You don't know what she's dealing with. You're just entertaining what she wants you to entertain, which is her butt cheeks clap on Instagram. Yeah. Bands will make them dance. And in the background is, yeah, what you just said, right? But that's what you entertain. So you got to come back and say, you know what? I got to make a covenant with my eyes to the Most High and say, you know what? Right. If I hit a Snapchat story and I see some cheeks, swipe, I'm to the next. Or just stay off the social media. Get rid of the excess baggage of friends that it's gonna cause you to stumble long run.
Then you're doing the late night. Where you headed? Just going for a ride.
I was riding around. Nigga, nah, you about to go.
You about to meet some hood rat from Snapchat or Instagram and go get demons on you and do more sin.
Because you know what you did? You didn't just look at her and clap the cheeks on Snapchat. You sent a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Or you sent the emoji with the hands praised, like praying hands.
Yeah, you praying to her.
You sent that emoji, and then that sparked.
Right.
That sparked your conversation.
That's why brothers have to stop it.
Oh my God,
that's why,
it's sad.
That's why I know this is your point was to remind these women, and we're gonna get back to that.
Yeah.
Because it's very important to remind sisters, but at the same time, man, there's too many brothers that have come in on this trip of like women is wicked, but then niggas come in here and be doing the wickedest. They be doing the wickedest stuff, but then swear everybody else is wicked. It's gotta stop. It's gotta stop. It's hypocritical, right? If you hate wickedness so much, then won't you stop being wicked? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. You're like you're the one standing, that brother right there. But every time it's time for you to stand up, hey, let's do something righteous. Every Snapchat is you doing something out of the spirit and ain't doing nothing in the spirit. But you, every time you're the one, Captain what? America. You're Captain Israelite. Well, brother, I don't know why they do that. They're wicked as hell. They're evil. It's like, nigga, you
big flapping in the
yeah, it's like you an Israelite hardcore in class. But your Snapchats, you ain't an Israelite.
Nope.
You the nigga that you
give into the wickedness.
Yeah.
On the low though, in your mind.
Just stop it. Just be real with yourself. That's all I'm saying. Be real with yourself so you can understand how to really become this man. So going back into your topic.
No, let's finish this part because it's very important. This is part of it.
Yeah.
Read on.
Verse 2.
For what portion of Yahweh is there from above?
Right.
And what inheritance of the Almighty from on high? Is not destruction to the wicked?
No, we got 19. It's not what?
Destruction to the wicked.
The scripture is asking, when you start looking up on these maids, what portion of the Most High are you going to catch? Right? What inheritance from the Almighty are you going to get? Read verse 3 again.
Is not destruction to the wicked.
It's not destruction to the wicked. Read.
And a strange punishment to workers of iniquity.
Because where is that iniquity worked? It's worked in the mind. Read on. Watch.
Does not he see my ways?
Read.
And count all my steps?
Don't the Most High see your ways and count your steps? Ain't a man's goings of the Lord?
Good.
Read on.
If I have walked with vanity.
If I have walked with what?
With vanity.
See, that lust in your mind is what?
Vanity.
Read.
Or if my foot had tasted to deceit.
Come on.
Let me be weighed in an even balance.
Come on.
That Yahweh may know mine integrity.
And this is the point that you got to make a covenant with your. Listen, if you got to make a covenant with your eyes and say, you know what, I'm going to look every person, man, woman, and child in the eyes so that I don't have to look down and see the spandex and the bra half cut so that you don't fall into that mind, you got to do it. You got to do it. A wise man foresees the evil. Y'all know what's out there. Stop. Right. We know what's out there, man. So we can be preventative and be proactive. We don't got to blame it on the world every time and say, well, they're just wicked. Hell yeah, they are. You know they're wicked. You know they're wicked. He knows they're wicked. We know they're wicked. But that don't mean we gotta fall into their wickedness and be like, well, they keep doing it to us. What are we doing? What are we doing up here to guard our minds? What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say when he was talking about that even balance, is like saying I'm correcting myself and I'm keeping my covenant, but sometimes it's still gonna happen.
Yeah, you'll slip.
You're a righteous man, though.
You're a righteous man.
You're a righteous man. You're trying, though. At least you can say, I'm battling that demon, as opposed to saying, you know what? You can't control that.
Right.
You see? See, your talk is whole different. It's spiritual talk because it's control now.
Right.
It's power over your flesh. Not, I can't control that. You see that?
Right.
Go to Ecclesiastes 23:17, Ariel. Ecclesiastes 23:17. Somebody else get Jeremiah 17:10. So we're understanding that. Where does this begin? These scriptures are to show it begins in the mind. It all begins in the mind, but that if we get anything from that Job 31, it's showing us that we can check our mind. We can check the thoughts, and we can check before things get into that wicked thinking, into that iniquity. And then we can check it before the Most High starts checking us. You make the covenant and say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. Before the Most High start giving you his portion of checks. Ecclesiastes 23:17, read.
Ecclesiastes chapter 23, verse 17.
Come on.
All bread is sweet to a whoremonger.
Yeah, all bread is sweet to a whoremonger. Everything he sees, he likes. You know them all little perverted 50-year-old dudes, them old perverts.
God.
Every little chick they see. It's like, damn, look at that one. Damn, look at it. He ain't got no discretion. It don't matter if she's fat, slim, tall, ugly, not ugly. It don't matter. All bread is sweet. He like, yeah, that's good. I need that. I want that. It don't matter. He just want a taste. Let me get a taste. Because why? His spirit. That whoremonger in spirit, it'll accept anything. But that whore spirit will accept anything. Read on.
He will not leave off till he die.
Yeah, you know why? You know where that death comes? That death comes in all the problems he creates for himself mentally. Where now I'm dealing with, and I'm dipping into everybody's situation and everybody's business. I'm causing discord over here because I'm trying to hit this man's wife. I'm causing discord over here. He's trying to shoot me, right? I'm catching diseases over here because I'm just reckless with my doings. The death can come in many different forms, but it's all the Most High destroying this man. It might be a slow death. Think about all your little old player friends. How many houses they got chased down and butt naked? How many times they got shot at, beat up over somebody else's woman? Think about it. Like, damn, I remember that one time, dog. That dude almost killed me. Why? Because he was creeping with his woman. Think about cheaters. How many cats have got wrecked on cheaters? Because yes, the jealousy of a man does what? It's his rage. And if you're dealing with what's mine, bro, I ain't gonna take that lightly. You are gonna die.
And you gotta be careful too, because a lot of these women, they lie. Because I got caught in a situation, like the chick, she didn't tell me that, like she had just recently got finished with her husband. But they were divorced though, you see what I'm saying?
They do lie.
So I'm in the house, you know what I'm saying, with her, and I'm out of pocket because my gun in the car. And the next thing, I knew it had to be somebody that she knew because he wasn't banging on the front door. He had the bedroom window knocking, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, come on, man, like.
Jealousy of a man.
Right.
Yeah, they do lie. They do lie.
Man.
And again, we talked about that earlier where that you got to do your investigation before you end up in somebody's crib. Like, you got to investigate, prove a friend. You got to go through the steps and the months and the years to figure out what is this person about? What are they really dealing with? Are they still attached? Are they not? And then you proceed. But again, if the lust is ruling you, it don't matter what they say. It don't matter if they got divorced 5 minutes ago. You're going to be up in that, trying to deal with it. All bread is sweet to a whoremonger. It don't matter if it's divorced or not.
Right.
Read on.
Verse 18.
Uh-huh.
A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart.
Where does he say it?
Thus in his heart.
He says it out loud.
In his heart.
Read.
Who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness. The walls cover me, and nobody seeth me.
Right, and so even for the women, it's the same thing where you creep off in your mind
like we were talking about earlier.
Like we were talking about earlier. You
right.
creep off in your mind like, yeah, I wonder how I can get this man in bed, or this is the best one. A lot of women know. A lot of women know that a man. A lot of women that have a man know, and they say, you know what? I'm gonna get this man by any means necessary. You got a man already, but you convince yourself and you build yourself and say, you know what? I'm gonna be the conqueror. I'm gonna be with this dude. I'm gonna snatch him away from his woman, because it ain't. Oh, and for the single woman out there, let's deal with that real quick. You're not sitting there saying, oh, I'm gonna be his wife, and he already has a wife. You're saying, no, I'm gonna take him away from his wife. I'm gonna cause him to break his wedlock and be with me. I mean, that's the worldly thinking, right? That's the worldly thinking. We know here in the spirit, we know that a woman shouldn't be thinking like, oh, well, if he already has a wife, I'm going to get him to get rid of his wife and be with me only. It don't work like that. Ain't no brother should be divorcing his wife to get with another woman for that sole purpose. That's off. That's adultery. So, you know, it works on some different levels for women where if you're not thinking clear, you end up in a world of trouble because you're trying to pry a man away from his current wife. That's adultery. Or if you have a man and you're like, yeah, I got to get with this dude because he appeases my flesh. Again, he buys me lunch. He makes pop-up visits at my job. You know, he held the door open for me. It just be dumb things, man. He gave me a ride home. Like, come on. It can't be, like, your relationship can't be contingent on he gave me a ride home or he bought me lunch. It can't. Y'all women understand that, right? It can't be like that. Yeah, one of y'all get it. Read on.
God, who seeth me?
Right?
I'm compassed about with darkness.
Right, because now when you're in your act, but actually when you're in your head.
Right.
When you're in your head, it's like, yeah, ain't nobody seeing my thoughts. Nobody can see this. Nobody sees what I'm conjuring up on the low. I'm with my husband. Everything's all good with me and him. Everything's all good with me and my husband. You don't see the deep, dark thoughts that are embedded in the back of my brain when I'm with the other guy. He don't see it. So I'm good. I'm covered. I'm covered with darkness. My thoughts are in secret. Read.
I'm compassed about with darkness.
Uh-huh.
The walls cover me.
Uh-huh.
And nobody seeth me.
Read.
What need I to fear?
Yeah, well, I ain't got nothing to fear, man. I'm good.
Right.
I'm going to keep thinking.
You know, what you were saying earlier about them being at work and your husband's not around. But now, this is where that admiration comes in. You start seeing the things that this person is doing and start to admire him. You start to look at him and say, okay, look at how he talks. Look at how sweet he is. Look at how, look at his tone. Look at his demeanor. Look how he rolls. And then it's done in secret, but you're not saying nothing to nobody. You just watch it.
Yep.
And these are the things that now you're already one step from dropping the draws. Why? Because all he has to do is come to you and say, I know you're having a little problem with your husband and everything, but
in that voice, because his voice sounds like that.
Right, I'm Sancho Man. What's your name? Yeah, I'm Sancho Man. He tells you he's Sancho Man.
Yeah.
And you're like, man.
And then when he says it in English, I'm the other guy.
Right.
Boyfriend.
I'm the other guy.
This is the spirit you gotta watch, man. It's gonna get you in those moments of weakness. It's gonna get you to start hating more about your husband, hating more things about your husband, and then that's why when you go home, you're like, it ain't no hug. You know what I mean? Remember when you first met? It was, hey baby, you hugged each other, you kissed each other. Now it's like, what's up, nigga? It's you again. Let me guess, you got another Bible verse, right? It don't supposed to be like that. It don't supposed to be to where now you're starting to look at your husband and be like, and measure him based on this guy at work.
You no longer have the reverence for your husband.
You know exactly.
You no longer reverence your husband. Let's finish. Come on, Arya. Finish it up so we can move on.
God, the Most High will not remember my sin.
Right. This is the mind you get into because you're covered with this spiritual adultery where you're like, wait. Read it one more time. Wait. That just hit me. Read it one more time.
The Most High will not remember My sin.
My what?
Sin.
Yeah, so you even know that you off. Think about it. You know you off in your mind. That damn, I'm sinning. I'm breaking the covenant. But you're like, the Most High ain't gonna remember that. Yeah. He ain't gonna do nothing. I'll be all right. It's only a thought. Right? It's only a thought.
I'm only a thought.
I'm only a thought. Damn, read on. E.
Such a man only feareth the eyes of men.
Right, because you're only looking at what men see you. You're only looking at what men see and the outward appearance of things, not realizing that your thoughts, they're gonna manifest anyway.
Yeah.
And they can either manifest where you apply the spirit and destroy that demon, or you apply the lust and feed into the demon. And it's gonna be seen by men, the Most High.
They manifest in your demeanor, in your anger, when you go home. When you go home, they manifest, why? Through the frustration. Why all of a sudden you more frustrated?
Or
You more angry.
Because you're not
that guy.
Because you're measuring him, your husband, according to what the world. I don't care if it's TV, if it's a movie, if it is a guy at work, if it's the guy on Facebook or Snapchat. It could be the little stuff, man. You gotta just watch women. Like, they'll sit there and they admire a guy, man, and you're like,
wow.
Yeah, they're like looking at them, but they won't say nothing. Women are very smooth about it. They're not gonna be, their eyes ain't gonna get big or nothing. They're just gonna look. They're gonna watch, right? And then next you know, they're taking this all in from this other guy, right?
But you see it though, because again, the signs. You see it through the signs, the distance, the physical distance, the emotional distance. You see it. What's that, Samakai?
I was going to say it may not always be that way. They might try to oversell themselves to their husband so that they're not caught.
That too.
You know, just doing stuff extra or being extra nice, doing, you know, just out of place things, you know, so that their husband doesn't pick up on it.
That's my automatic red flag. When my rib starts getting extras in the spirit, I'm like, okay, what the hell's going on here? Let's investigate. When she starts getting a little, shalom, babe, and then she's getting a little bit too much floating going on, I'm like, there's something up. That's when my guard goes up. I'm like, there's something wrong. She's getting a little bit too righteous, right? That's my red flag. I'm like, no, we gotta cause something. We gotta cause some strife, because can't be too much in the spirit. I'm joking. Read on. Read on.
And know it not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun.
Go ahead. Read it right. Come on. Read with some speed and read it right. Come on.
God, such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord 10,000 times more brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men.
He beholds all the ways of men. Slow it down a little bit. He beholds your thoughts. He beholds all the things that you think that you're thinking on the low. He beholds all the things that you think you're hiding from your husband. The thing is, you sit back and think, you guys ever wonder and sit back like, damn, how come my husband always knows everything? Well, because for one, the Most High is bringing it out and making it manifest to your husband through what? There's something that, and I'm going to get there. There's a point I don't want to give it away, but there's something that y'all hide from. There's something that on both sides you hide from because, and I'm going to give it away, it discerns your thoughts. But read on.
And considering the most secret parts.
The what?
The most secret
parts.
You
consider those secret sins, those secret thoughts, the ones you hold dear to your heart, the ones you only tell to the girlfriend that hates your husband, or to the friend that hates your husband anyway. So you confide in her like, yeah, girl, I met this dude at the job, and girl, he's sexy. He's chocolate and he got them lips, right? His arms be ripping through his polo. Girl, he got that nice hair, and if we have babies, it's gonna be on point. And she's like, girl, you better get that. You better drop that. What is it? You better get you a winner and drop that chicken dinner. That's how that's the counsel, man. That's the counsel they give. Drop the chicken dinner and get you a winner. That's what these wicked women will tell you. It's like, damn. Because why? She already don't like your husband. So she's going to sway you in the other way. But these secret thoughts, you hide them from everybody else. You hide them from the people that's going to tell you the right thing. You only share them with the person that's going to push your motive. Read on.
He knew all things ever that they were created.
And this is what this wicked, adulterous mind forgets. You forget that the Most High is looking at you. He created you. He knew what you was about before you conjured the thought. Before you even let your mind dip off that way, he knew. This is an adulterous ass chick. Her mind ain't right. Her mind is weak. But this is where it starts, where the mind gets weak. Read on.
So also after they were perfected, he looked upon them all.
Go ahead.
This man shall be punished in the street.
Wait, what's going to happen?
Be punished in the street.
Yeah, because all your little secret thoughts and things that you were hiding. I mean, come on, let's be real. Let's bring it to David. Isn't that what happened to David?
God.
David. Where is it at? We're going to get there too. We're going to talk a little bit about David if we have time. But this man shall be punished in the streets. Go ahead.
Of the city.
Uh-huh.
And where he suspected not, he shall be taken.
Yeah, where you least expect it, you're going to be overtaken. The Most High is going to bring out your shame. From there, go to Jeremiah 17 and verse 10.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
I, the Lord, search the heart.
Wait, who searches the heart?
I, the Lord, search the heart.
So, even if you think you hide it from your husband, even when your husband pricks the eye, so it can water, and he pricks your heart, and you only give up what you want to give up, like, no, we're just friends. That's just my homegirl. Right? The Most High is pricking your heart. He's searching the heart through different means. Through different means, he's searching the heart. He's putting your conscience to work now. Because your conscience is going to work on you. And you can either say, you know what? I'm off. Let me confess. Let me give up what I'm doing. Or you can fight it. But the Most High is going to try your heart. Read on.
I try the reins.
Uh-huh.
Even to give every man according to his ways.
And he's going to do what?
Give every man according to his ways.
What's going to happen is you're going to get according to your ways. So whether your conscience beats you up to the point where you say, you know what, I confess I'm wrong, or you just try to stick it out, the Most High is going to reward you. This is what has to be understood. When you want to bend off in your mind and try to circumvent your husband in your mind and think that he ain't going to catch on, your husband don't reward you or he don't check you. It's the Most High, really. The Most High brings that damnation. So now you got to bring back and go back through your whole life and say, damn, now I see why this happened in my life. When I was committing my adulteries, now I see why the Most High checked me this way and why this happened and why that happened. Now I see when I was talking to the sister and I knew she had a boyfriend, but my simple mind said, oh, it's just a boyfriend. She's not really in the truth, so she don't know the difference. And the Most High starts checking your house. You say, oh, damn, now I can see why the Most High did that. He's dealing with me according to my ways. Read on.
And according to the fruit of his doings.
And the fruit of your doings. So you going to get that rotten fruit or you going to get that nice, ripe, plush fruit? You going to have them fruits of the Spirit or you going to have those rotten apples? But that's how it's shown what a man is about. That's how your thoughts are made manifest because of the fruit. What comes forth is the fruit, the intentions, and then the fruit. Go to, so now that you have your, and we've been talking about it, now that you got your secret wicked little thoughts, right? You have it in your head that you're in love with this man, you're in love with this woman. You know, you start talking to this person about your relationship and talking down on your husband. What are you doing in turn? Yes, you're holding this other person in admiration. You're putting this person and replacing them with where your husband should be. How do you do it? How is one way you show that you hold someone in admiration other than your husband?
The fact that you're talking to them over your husband.
That, yeah, you spend more time conversing. How's another way, Abadiah?
I was going to say, similar to Mark, you start sharing the intimate thoughts, your deepest feelings that should be reserved for him.
Right.
And you're opening up to someone else that really doesn't even know your spirit.
Right.
And knows how to address that and check it. And they're just taking advantage of that. Because they're not going to do right by you when you do that.
Because, excuse me, it goes like this. You rather hear that person's opinion than your husband's. You rather take the opinion of this outsider than listen to the guidance and wisdom of your husband. When you're it's like when your husband comes and he's ready to deal with you, you shut down. Wall. But you'll be at work giggling. What was that you were talking about last week about such and such and such and such? And you all giggly and all happy and loose. It's like, damn, wait a minute. You rather hear this person's voice, their voice of no reason, than hear the actual voice of the Bible and hear the voice of wisdom and reason. You gotta check that spirit. That's one way you put another person in admiration over your husband. You rather hear this person's opinion. What do Ecclesiastes 26 and 24? Ecclesiastes 4:22 also. Lamad, read.
Ecclesiastes chapter 26 and verse 24.
Oh, go ahead.
A dishonest woman.
What type of woman is this?
Dishonest woman.
Where did her dishonesty start?
In her heart.
It started in her heart. Go ahead.
Contemned, shame. But an honest woman will reverence her husband.
She'll do what?
Reverence her husband.
A woman of honesty, a woman of an honest heart, she's going to reverence her husband. Reverence is deep respect. She's going to respect her husband on all fronts, all aspects. Whether it's time to get checked, whether it's time to be exhorted, whether it's time to be hugged, kissed, touched, just regular conversation talk. She's going to always go back and reverence her husband and say, you know what? Let me get his opinion. Let me deal with him. Let me take his guidance and wisdom before I get any outside influence. But a dishonest, disgruntled, rebellious, adulterous woman, you know what she's going to do? She's going to be like, man, I don't give a damn about my husband's opinion. Reverence? Nigga, what the hell? Respect. What you talking about? What you talking about, handsome Sancho? What you talking about? I want to hear your opinion on the matters. Why? Where does it come from? You know, you said
get one on that?
You can. There was something that you had said earlier where, you know, this reverencing. Where does it come? Another place, you know where it also comes from? Where you might have sat back and seen this man interact with his wife. And you said, damn, I like the way he talks to her. He holds her hand. He rubs her back when they counsel. He ain't blazing into her. He's like, baby, I get it. It's going to be okay. Everything is smooth like butter. They smile together. All you see is teeth. Right? And you sitting back looking at that like, damn, how come my husband don't talk to me like that? Next thing you know, you're looking at this man like, this is what I want. I want to be talked to. I want the words to be smoother than butter. You start building this man up in your mind, man. Where were you going to go?
It's Ecclesiastes 25.
Ooh, thank you.
I mean, just on what you were saying.
Yeah.
It's what you made a point. It was right on that, man. It's perfect.
26 and 25?
26 and 25.
No, 26 and verse 12.
Let's see here. Yeah, go ahead.
Come on, Aaron.
No. 25:17.
Start at verse 9 real quick. Read for me.
Go
ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 26 and verse 9. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids.
So that's what the point is, that you got to watch when the spirit of a whore is coming on you. The spirit of adultery is coming on you. It comes on you in these times where you lose respect for your husband. It comes on times where you lose respect for the wisdom, and you're won by the conversation of the wives. That's when this horror spirit comes on you, this adulterous spirit. Go ahead.
Verse 10. If thy daughters be shameless, keep her in straitly.
Right. So that's why he's going on to say, listen, when you see your wife, when you see the daughters of Israel shameless, you got to put boundaries around them. Why? Because this type of woman is going to, if you see her, just watch. If she's watching TV and she pick up things on TV and like, yeah, I like that. You see that her mind is easily seduced by worldly stuff. But when you talk about wisdom, you got to watch that. Because that's where that shame is. Where that shamelessness comes in at. She don't got no shame when it comes to you giving her a direction or leadership. No shame. But then she's shameless when it comes to other wisdom. Or she watches her shame, when it comes to other wisdom. She watches herself. She's, like you said, listening to this person or that person. This person was saying this, but when it comes to you, she's just a shameless brute. You got to watch the spirit, because this is the whoredom spirit. Go ahead.
Lest she abuse herself.
Right, because she's going to do what?
Abuse herself.
She's going to do what?
Abuse herself.
How? Go ahead.
Through overmuch liberty.
Because she will abuse herself when she's not around you. Yeah, around you she'll be the Israelite, cloak on her head, humble. She barely looks at you in the eye. She love me, Lord. But then when she's out and about and she has liberty, she's at work. She's the HBIC. You know what I mean? She, like I said, she's making sure she ain't got no panties on. She's running around, and you can see in her spirit, it's like, wait a minute, you're a different person now. Like, one minute you humble, and the next minute now you just come out with this whorish spirit. Why? Because there's somebody at work that's making you feel free. I feel free here. You know what I mean? I feel free over here. I can talk with him, I can talk with her, because I'm free. Around you, nigga, I'm in slavery. I'm in bondage. I'm captive. Right? Which you should be, because we are all bound in the spirit to the Most High. But see, when you talk like that, there's people that think, oh, well, I don't supposed to be like that. Well, you don't supposed to be like that psychologically. Spiritually, you're supposed to know you're bound. But psychologically, you are free in the spirit. Right? Paul said being bound, we're free in the spirit. Right? So if you feel still like you're being controlled and in bondage and unhappy, then there is a problem. But that problem, if you don't solve it, is going to create more pain in you. Why? Because he's going to end up doing something that you don't supposed to be doing. Go ahead.
Watch over an impudent eye.
See, and that's why you got to watch over this person. You got to watch, because that impudent, see, the impudent comes with the haughty, disdainful. Then you watch how she talk to you, right? But she get on the phone with her boss and is like, okay, all right. You don't hear her like, well, that's not the way I would do it. I don't want to do. Okay, you just run the company the way you got dang fit, right? You don't never hear her say that. You don't never hear her say, am I the manager or not? Am I, am I the manager or not? Then let me manage. She ain't saying that. She's like, yes, me Lord.
How do you like it, sir?
Yeah, she's like, okay, if that's how you want it done. Right? What time you need me there? Early? I'll bring the coffee, sir.
Yeah.
Right?
And the donuts.
Right. She's sitting next to, or she's not the manager, she's sitting next to the guy at work, and she's just sitting there smiling and looking at how he talking, like nodding. Yeah, but she's like, there you go again. Every time you talk makes me want to vomit, nigga. There you go. Thinking you know every damn thing. Right? That's an impudent eye. Now, when you know you got that type of individual, that's another class. You now you're stuck. You got this person. Right? Go ahead.
And marvel not.
And what?
Marvel not.
You see, you can't trip. See, this is why our analyzation, our judgment, our spiritual insight got to be on point, because then you can't trip. You know this is in her. So why you gonna trip when she dipping off at lunch, topping off of the dude at work? Right? You found out years ago. I know women, man, that hid relationships for 10 years from their husband. 10 years. Now, y'all know, if you haven't done it, you know women that can really hide something. They ain't like men. We'll bring them to the house. We bring them to the house. No.
Like, whose lipstick is this?
Yeah, we come scent. We come doing different things. Nah. They make sure they put the takeaway bag, the extra bag. Yeah, they keep that in the car.
Scandal bag, they call
it.
The overnight bag.
Scandal bag.
They keep the scandal bag in the car. And we don't think nothing. We always know they carry bags with them. The bag lady, right?
That's just my dress for when I... That's my dress.
Right.
When I gotta change it.
Because I gotta make sure I got the right. But that's the scandal bag.
Yeah, that's that creep.
Right, but you didn't pick it up because she was loud, she was stubborn, she was haughty, she was disrespectful. And you still wondering why you like this? Because she don't like you, man. She don't like you. And that's really the gist of it. Don't get your feelings hurt. She just don't dig you no more. You know? But coming back to the knowledge, you know that what is the woman supposed to be looking for in this man, in her husband? What is supposed to be attractive about her Israelite man, Israelite husband? The wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the word, the change that he's fighting for, the maturity that he's growing into. That's what's supposed to be attractive with the Israelite man, right? Go ahead.
And marvel not if she trespass against thee.
Yeah, you can't trip if she trespass against you. You know, you got to get your hair wrapped around it now. Like, okay, I knew that was coming. Why? She would be dipping off. She's staying at work. She stay at work till 12 in the morning. It's like, you doing overtime? Okay, nigga, stop.
It's just her and the same boss all the time.
Yeah, it's like, y'all gotta go here. Oh, he gotta fly me out. Like, really? You and him? Okay, I got you. All right, but you can't prove nothing definitive. So when you do find out, you can't trip. Go ahead.
She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler.
Yeah, that's the one. Once again, when everybody's giving water out, springs of wisdom, squirting out like water, she is there listening. Open up her mouth. I want to hear that. I want to hear this. I want to hear that. But when you do it, she's like, what you talking about?
I don't want that one.
Yeah, or she's like, I just don't get it. You got to teach me better. You're not a good teacher. I don't understand you. It's like, okay, Mary, I don't get it.
Why are you always so negative?
Yeah, why
you guys gotta be negative with me?
Because she's not clicking with you. Yo, come on, man. Just remember back to you when you first met. That's how it always should be. She's supposed to keep you in admiration and smiling and making herself look good for you. Yeah, she's supposed to always, if that's slacking, there's a problem. Now, we know that you're going to, as relationships grow, you get comfortable with each other, but there's still supposed to be a fight in her to say, you know what, nah, I'm doing this for my husband, my man. If there's not, you need to watch. And you can't trip if she's thirsty as hell for everybody else. Go ahead.
As a thirsty traveler, when he have found a fountain,
right,
and drink of every water near her,
right, go ahead.
By every hedge will she sit down.
And that's going to be the outcome. The outcome is that she'll sit on every hedge but yours. Like, your sex life has been reduced to 20%. Why? Because, right, or 5%. Why? Because she's over there, she'd rather play with herself to this guy's picture than deal with you. Why? Because she just don't like you. Why? Because you're going into her spirit and she hates everything about you now. That you're revealing that she is wrong and her spirit ain't right. This is the reality. This is what happens when their heart turns from that man. When that heart turns from that man, you see it. Like, everything irritates you. I say everything that turn, like, now nothing you get, all the classes, all the wisdom and knowledge you don't get, now you turn totally back. You got to see that this is a spirit of adultery on this woman. And if it hasn't led there yet, it will go there. And that's what the warning is. This is what we're showing you through these scriptures, that you got to watch your mind. Because once this slips, you'll be sitting on every curve except your husband's. Go ahead.
And open her quiver against every arrow.
Right. So y'all get that. Go ahead.
Jump over to Ecclesiastes 4:22. Because dealing with the same thing, it's that reverence, right? No wife should be putting another man in reverence over her husband or admiration over her husband. Again, no one's blind. We all got eyes to see. You're going to see men, and they're going to dress nice. You're going to smell them. They're going to smell good. But if he smells good to the point where you chasing him down the hall and you want to be up under his bosom more than your husband, there's a problem. You got to check that mind. Read that. Ecclesiastes 4:22.
Accept no person against thy soul.
Do what?
Accept no person against thy soul. And let not the reverence of any man.
Let not the what?
Let not the reverence.
Yeah, let not the fact that you want to hold a man in admiration and high respect of any man, go ahead,
cause thee to fall.
Right. Don't let some other man, you put him up on a pedestal, and now you fall away from the love of your husband and from the respect and the submission of your husband. Y'all understand that, right? Read that one more time.
Accept no person against thy soul, and let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall.
Right, so we got to be careful about this, about sisters reverencing and putting other men in admiration above their husband. Now, one more point that I wanted to make. How do you know you're having a secret adultery, a secret relationship? What is it? A emotional relationship?
Yeah.
The secretive, I'm gonna give you this point. It's secretive communication. Excuse me. Secretive, inappropriate communication. Secretive, appropriate communication. Because what happens? You think the thought, right? You're thinking in your head, I want to be with this man, even though I know I'm not supposed to. Then you start holding him in admiration. Oh, I love his guns. I love the way he looks. He smells so awesome. Right? I just want to bite him up. Right? And then what happens? You might slide him a number, or he might ask you for the number. Or you might already have the number because y'all are work buddies. But now your communication gets inappropriate. Now the communication starts crossing the line. Go to Matthew 12:35. Get it quick.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 35.
Read that.
A good man out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things.
Right, so a good man out of good treasure of his heart, his mind, is going to bring forth good things, good conversation, good action, good fruit. Where your heart is, that's where your treasure will be. Right? Read on.
And an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things.
Right, so what it's saying is that you'll know what a man is going to bring forth, or what comes forth from a man. You'll know because it's manifest in his thoughts, that it comes forth through action and it comes forth through words. Read on.
But I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof.
They shall do what?
Give account thereof.
Right, because when you're sitting there doing the inappropriate sexting with this other guy or some random chick, again, we got to be careful of this dyke spirit, because it's real. These dykes, man, what they'll do, they'll play the friend card and wait for you to slip in your mind so they can slip into your DMs. They'll play that friend card like, oh, that's just my friend. That's just my work buddy. But then the whole conversation is, oh, you my boo. What's up, boo? How you doing? She's leading you into this inappropriate way of speaking. You got to ask yourself this. is the way you talk to your friends. If your husband looked at your phone, would he chop your damn head off?
Right.
Excuse me, let's bring it back. Not your husband, with the Most High. If the law, if we were carrying out the Old Testament laws of death for sin, are you worthy of death in your conversation? You got to ask yourself that. If the judge looked at your phone and was like, "Damn, that's inappropriate," would you die in the spot, or would you get by? Some of y'all wouldn't get by, man, because your conversation is garbage. Your conversation is out of bounds. But it's manifest. It manifests because the idleness of your words. It's manifest through the fruit that come forth through your conversation. You got the damn dyke on your phone. Instead of telling her to get her mind right in the truth, you talking about boo this and boo that, you my best friend. Hell nah. Or the dude that's trying to get with you, knowing that you got a husband, you supposed to be like, listen, wait a minute, that's against the Bible. Talk to my husband. Ain't none of y'all did that. Ain't none of y'all doing that. Whoever did that up in here.
What?
Man trying to get with you, and he trying to come at you inappropriate, and you were like, well, no, I don't deal with that. Here's my husband, deal with him. Yeah. Okay, then there it is.
It doesn't happen to me because I don't roll in the spirit that someone would approach me that way.
But some of you, and then
you know what too? The funny thing is, I asked my rib the same thing. I said, you're good looking. I said nobody tries to hit on you. She was like, I just keep moving. You know what I mean? And that's how it's supposed to be, you know. But a lot of times, a lot of these young women, they ain't moving. They looking.
Nobody's hitting on me there.
Yeah, they're looking for it.
Yeah, you dress up. You make sure your hair is done, nails done. Make sure your outfit's right, so you can get those compliments and you can get hit on. Because you're looking to invite that spirit. Who had their hand up?
Yeah, me, I did it, man.
But we got to be careful of that. But now we're past that. Now you actively doing the talking, the sexting. That's what they call it, right? You throwing the little memes back and forth, the heart eyes. That's all garbage. Y'all think it don't mean nothing, but you got to understand that it does mean something, because why? That is the communication of the day. That is a communication of this day and age. So if I'm on there throwing emojis back and forth at some random ass dude, what is that putting in his head?
Now, we're talking about emojis. How do you think your husband's gonna feel if you always bringing about what your ex did? Now think about this. If you always talking about your ex and what he did.
You went all the way there, huh?
Had to, because there's a lot of women that are still worldly, that they're still talking about what Tyrone did.
Or you just think about it. You don't even throw it out to your husband. But you have it in the back of your head like, my ex nigga did it better. I should have stayed with him.
Man.
If she was better, I should have stayed with her.
If I would have never met this man, and the Most High would have never sent me to him, where would my life be? You know, I'd probably be better off. You over there daydreaming, waiting to exhale. You're going to get what you want. As a man thinketh, so is he. You're going to call those spirits to you. You're going to be put in a predicament with Mandingo, and then what happens? You're going to be doing something out of order. Right? What's that?
I was going to say, Pastor said it earlier, Satan is an opportunist.
Yeah.
So all he's waiting for is you to open up, and he'll present that opportunity
for whatever.
Fulfill whatever you're most meditating on.
Yeah.
I know brothers are like, this, I can't believe this.
Would you look at this?
You're realizing what you got on your hand. That's why it says, give not thy strength unto a woman.
God. Right.
You know, neither which, both of them, everything, yeah. Ways that destroy kings, and which one you quoted?
You said, I was thinking about that.
It said what?
Give not that which is holy unto the dogs.
That too. Give not.
It says, that's your personal.
All that. You know, but that's the thing. You realize that, damn, You know, now coming, you know, a lot of y'all brothers are still young. You know, you still can do it right. You still young and handsome. You still can get the woman that you're looking for, and you can still teach her. The problem is that brothers, you're crapping off your youth, dealing with whores, instead of understanding how to pick them right, and then how to go in and take those spirits off of them. You know, and it's a give and a take, because the thing is that you do got the youth, but with youth it comes a lot of stupidity and an arrogant spirit, and then you don't listen to wisdom, and you keep putting yourself in the same situation with the wrong women. Yeah, that's how it is, man. So you got to be careful.
Jump back. Finish that. Start back over from the top.
What time? How much more time?
We got an hour.
No, we got.
Class ends at 10.
No, class is at 9, bro.
What's today?
You got 12 minutes.
Man, come on, bro. You killing me right now.
Bro, you killing yourself.
Come on, man. Finish.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 36.
Christ, I thought we finished at 10.
Today's Friday.
I forgot.
It's a Sabbath.
Go ahead.
But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
Go ahead.
For by thy word.
For by thy what?
Thy word.
Read on.
Thou shalt be justified.
Read.
And by thy words thou shalt be condemned.
Right, because you're in this adultery mode, so now you start throwing out the words of an adulteress. What are those words? Go to 2 Peter 2:14. Go to 2 Peter 2:14. Get it quick, because I thought we had a damn hour. I swore we was like, oh, good.
2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 14.
So actually, read it here. Get the annotated Bible. Hurry up. We're going to read it in the regular King James Version, but then we're going to read it in the annotated Bible and Apocrypha, because the way it's worded. There's a word that I wanted in here. Read that. 2 Peter 2:14.
Having eyes full of adultery,
and
that cannot cease from sin.
Right, so this man got eyes full of adultery, committing sin. Jump to verse 18.
For when they speak great swelling words of vanity,
go ahead,
they allure through the lust of the flesh.
Now I want you to get it here in the annotated. Read verse 18.
Verse 18.
Go ahead.
For they speak bombastic nonsense.
It says they speak bombastic nonsense, outlandish nonsense. Go ahead.
And with lascivious desire.
With what?
Lascivious desire.
I'm going to give y'all the definition of lascivious.
God.
You got it?
God.
Go ahead.
Promiscuous and unprincipled in sexual matters.
They're what?
Promiscuous and unprincipled in sexual matters.
So read it with the definition in the annotated.
God. For they speak bombastic nonsense.
With
promiscuous and unprincipled in sexual matters.
How do they speak?
Promiscuous and unprincipled in sexual matters.
How is your conversation on the low?
Promiscuous and unprincipled in sexual matters.
This is the type of conversation you tend to have, and you'll end up having with these men that you hold in admiration. You start getting promiscuous with your speech. In what matters?
And unprincipled.
Unprincipled in sexual matters.
In sexual matters.
Right. Synonyms. Wanton. You become wanton. You become sinful, corrupt.
Right, like it says in Isaiah 3, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, they become wanton.
I was going to...
Yeah.
But I didn't
right, right.
So y'all get that. So your speech becomes lascivious. Right? Because you didn't check your mind. So now I got to speed up real quick. Go to Jeremiah 17 and verse 9. 17 and verse 9. Yeah. Go to Jeremiah 17 and verse 9, because now we got to understand that your bad intentions, this is what brings the punishment. The bad intents come from the heart. Jeremiah 17 and 9.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9.
Somebody else get Isaiah 29 and 15. It's all good. Go ahead.
The heart is deceitful above all things.
And
desperately wicked.
The heart is what?
Deceitful above all things.
The heart is already deceitful above all things. A heart without wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, a weakened heart, is going to be desperately wicked and deceitful. Go ahead.
Who can know it?
Who can know it? It's a question. Who knows that? Who can know the heart? The Most High. But not just the Most High. Watch, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. I'm going to let y'all ponder on that real quick. Go to Matthew 5:18. So we understand the heart is desperately wicked and deceitful. Who can know it? So what things come from the heart? Matthew 5:18.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 18. For verily I say to you.
Matthew 15 and 18. Salakia.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 18.
Go ahead.
But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart.
They come from where?
From the heart.
Read verse 19.
For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts.
Go ahead. What are these evil thoughts? What?
Murder.
What else?
Adultery.
What?
Fornications.
Adulteries and fornication. So these things are what proceed from the heart. A heart that's left unchecked. You start checking that heart, who's going to set scourges over the mind? Well, we know what it is. It's the wisdom. The wisdom is what sets the bounds. The Most High tries the reins, right? He tries the heart. He sets wisdom before it to see, are you going to apply or not? Are you going to be led away with your thoughts? Watch. Go to Isaiah 29 and verse 15.
Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 15.
Go ahead.
Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High.
Go ahead.
And their works are in the dark.
See, you're going to get destruction trying to hide your counsel, trying to hide your works in the dark. Go ahead.
And they say, who seeth us?
Right.
And who knoweth us?
Yeah, see, they keep asking this question, who's going to see us? Who's going to know us? But there's one thing about this person that they do. They make sure that they make themselves scarce to the thing that's going to see them and the thing that's going to know them. What is it? Y'all got to know this scripture. Come on. Y'all know what it is. Go to Jeremiah 23 and 24. Go to Jeremiah 23 and 24, because the heart is so desperately wicked and deceitful. What it does, it's desperate to commit wickedness. It's desperate to be deceitful. But the one thing it does, it's also desperate to not be found out. It's desperate to hide the things that it's doing. Read Jeremiah 23, 24.
Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 24.
Can
any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him?
Go ahead.
Said the Most High. Do not I fill heaven and earth?
Right, it's a question. Can any man hide himself that I can't see him? Ain't I everywhere? Don't I manifest myself through everything? But see, this wicked mind thinks like, no, I'm going to hide myself. I'm going to hide myself, but what am I going to make myself scarce from? Bringing it back to the class. I'm not going to present myself to my husband in a way where he can search me out. Because this man of wisdom is going to use what? Hebrews 4:12. Go to Hebrews 4 and 12. This man of wisdom is going to use the one thing that can rip me apart. The one thing that can separate thought from body, soul from spirit. Read.
For the word of God is quick.
He's going to use the what?
The word of God.
See, he's not going to beat you. He's not going to threaten you. He's not going to punch you in the face. He's going to use what?
The word of God.
Come on.
Is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword.
Read.
Piercing even the dividing asunder of soul and spirit.
Yeah, it divides the soul and the spirit. Read.
And of the joints and marrow. And is a discerner of the thoughts.
It gets down into your bone marrow, the life of a person. And it does what?
And is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
Listen, this is what a person does. The heart tells them no. When we read earlier, how do you know a person is in a secret relationship, in adultery, or an emotional relationship? It said they made themselves scarce emotionally. Now, the way I interpret that is, I don't want you to find me out, so I'm not going to give you what's on my mind. My heart is telling me to hide because it's desperately wicked. What is it hiding from? It's hiding from the discernment of the thoughts and my intentions. Because I can sit there and ask you questions in wisdom and get to your intent Oh, you got to go to work? Why you got to go to work at that time? Oh, yeah, y'all are doing that? Well, how come you got to go do it? Oh, and then all of a sudden, question after question, and you're like, I'm just not going to tell you I got to go to work that day. Or I'm not going to tell you when I get off. Or I'm not going to tell you anything about anything that's extra. Because why? I don't want you to discern my thoughts. I want to be able to hide. Because the heart is desperately wicked. It wants to avoid the thing that's going to be able to know the heart. Go to Psalms 90. Psalms 90 and verse 7.
Psalms chapter 90 verse 7.
But this is the problem. No matter what, you try to hide, the Most High is everywhere. Read.
For we are consumed by thine anger.
Wait, what is happening?
For we are consumed by thine anger.
This person is getting smacked left and right. Consumed by the anger of the Most High because he sees you. His eyes are 10 times brighter than the sun. You think you escape because your husband ain't checking you, but the Most High is. Read.
And by the wrath are we troubled.
Read.
Thou
Thou
hast set our iniquities before thee.
Read.
Our secret sins.
Our what?
Our secret sins.
Is what?
In the light.
Our secret sins in the light of thy countenance. See, the Most High is ripping you up because why? He sees the secret sin. You think that you're hiding something, but that's not the case. So now we get to where your thoughts that are left unchecked become action. Go to Proverbs 6. I know I'm speeding up just for time. Go to Proverbs 6. We got like 10 minutes.
61?
No, go to Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 16.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 16.
Go ahead.
These 6 things doth the Most High hate.
Yeah.
7 are an abomination unto him.
Go ahead.
A proud look.
So he hates that prideful look. Read.
A lying tongue.
He hates when you lie to your husband because you don't want to be found out. Read.
And hands that shed innocent blood.
Read on.
And heart that deviseth wicked imaginations.
Wait, a heart that does what?
Deviseth wicked imaginations.
These are the things that the Most High hates. A heart that devises wicked imaginations. Why? Go to Job 15 and verse 12. Because a heart with wicked imaginations, this is what happens left unchecked. See, y'all think that, oh, it's just thoughts. It's just random thoughts that flow through my head. With everything that we do, we think it's random thoughts. Ariel, get Proverbs 23 and verse 7. Lamad, get Proverbs 43 and verse 23. Read where you at, Jeremiah.
Job chapter 15 and verse 12.
Read.
Why doth thine heart carry thee away?
Wait, what does your heart do?
Carry thee away.
Why is your heart carrying you to wickedness? Because you invented a thought, a wicked-ass imagination, and followed it. I'm going to follow my heart. You know what I'm saying? Follow your heart.
Right.
But your heart's going to carry you away. Read on.
And what do thy eyes wink at?
Read on.
That thou turnest thy spirit against the Most High.
Wait, what happens when you follow your heart?
You turn thy spirit against Yahweh.
You turn your spirit against the Most High in Christ. Read on.
And lettest such words go out of thy mouth.
Right, because from the heart goes from the mouth and it proceeds out of the body. You see that? Go to Proverbs 23 and verse 7.
Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 7.
For
as he thinketh in his heart.
For as he does what?
Thinketh in his heart. So is he.
As a man think in his heart, so is he. So if you think it and it's wicked, but you don't check it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to think it. I want that. I want to be with that man. You think it, you don't rein that thought in, you're going to be with that man. You're going to commit that adultery. Y'all understand that? Go to Proverbs 44 and verse 23. 4 and verse 23. Proverbs 4 and verse 23.
Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23.
It's just like David, man. It's just like when David peered down at Bathsheba off the rooftop. What happened was he sent for her. Right? First he inquired about her. He said, who is that woman? Right. They told him that. They said, isn't she married? Isn't she the wife of Uriah the Hittite? And David was like, go get her. I don't care. But he lay with her. He let his heart carry him away. I mean, you can read the story in Samuel, but when you read it, he inquired. He looked down, then he sent his men to inquire of her. And they told him, she's the wife of Uriah the Hittite. And he said, you know what? Go get her anyway. Lie with her, got her pregnant.
I said, then he sent them to battle to die.
Then he sent them to battle. But the point was, he let his heart lead him. And what did it lead him to? Murder and adultery. Read where you at.
Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23.
Uh-huh.
Keep thy heart with all diligence.
Keep thy heart with what?
All diligence.
Yeah, you got to do everything you can to stand. You got to be diligent in the word. You got to be diligent in communication. You women, man, y'all hearts get real weak and faint off the slightest little check. Off the slightest little, I don't like the way that's done. Off the slightest little, do it this way. You get weak and faint, but you got to keep your heart and understand that we're not here to damage you and destroy your heart and destroy your mind. We're here to build. Read it again.
Keep thy heart with all diligence.
Go ahead.
For out of it are the issues of life.
Because when you follow your heart, whether it be wicked, when you read in Ecclesiastes 9, when he says, young man, follow your heart, but remember you're going to have to pay for all the things that you do. Those are the issues of life. That's what comes from following your heart. Whether it be good issues, whether it be bad issues.
You're going to have to deal with it.
You're going to have to deal with the repercussions.
Yeah.
One more scripture, and then we're done. One more scripture, Jeremiah 14 and verse 4. Jeremiah 14 and verse 4. 1 Thessalonians 5:22, actually. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. And Jeremiah 14:4. And then that's it.
1 Thessalonians 5:22.
I gotta conclude it. I gotta give you some inspiration.
Chapter 14 and verse 4.
Read.
Because the ground is chaff.
Salakia, 4 and 14. This let's get kicked right in. Jeremiah 4 and 14.
Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 14.
Uh-huh.
O Jerusalem, wash thine heart from wickedness.
Go ahead.
That thou mayest be saved.
Yeah, you got to cleanse your heart, man. You got to cleanse your mind of these impure thoughts that lead you away so that you can be saved. Go ahead.
How long shall thy vain thoughts lodge within thee?
Yeah, how long are you going to keep the vanity in your head? How long are you going to dwell on idle and vain thoughts that destroy you, hold you back, that we talked about earlier? They keep you miserable. How long are you going to keep these thoughts on you? You got to clean yourself. Go to 1 Thessalonians 5:22. We're going to end it there.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 22.
Uh-huh.
Abstain from all appearance of evil.
Do what?
Abstain from all appearance of evil.
Yeah, so if it even looks like you're trying to do something on the low, on the slick, on the slide with some other man, and if it even feels, you feel the inclination in your heart, you got to abstain from that. Abstain from all appearances of anything that looks like you're committing this spiritual adultery. That way you won't lead to the physical adultery. Pop back up. Finish verse 23.
Verse 23.
Uh-huh.
And the very power of peace.
The very power of what?
Peace.
Now you'll get you some peace in life. Read.
Sanctify you wholly.
Sanctify you wholly. How? Read.
And I pray that the Most High, your whole spirit,
Uh-huh.
and soul.
Your whole spirit, so you're thinking, go ahead.
And soul.
Read.
And body.
So all three of these things will be purified wholly. Mind, body, and soul. Go ahead.
Be preserved. Blameless.
You got to be what?
Preserved. Blameless.
This is the whole point, is that you want to be found blameless in the eyes of the Most High first and foremost. You don't want to think in your head that because no one else can see me, that I'm getting away with it. You want to be preserved blameless in the eyes of the Most High. And everything else righteous will follow. Don't get caught up in the sins that so easily beset you and cause you to fall. Don't get caught up in that old woman, in that old man, the thoughts, thinking that you're getting away with something. Because you didn't get away with it back in the day. You ain't going to get away with it now. You didn't get away with it out the spirit because you got caught. You ain't going to get away with it in the spirit because the spirit is going to reveal all.
Yep.
Read on.
Blameless unto the coming of our Lord, Yahushua.
Blameless for a day or two?
Unto the coming of our Lord, Yahushua.
That's the goal, man. You want to stay blameless until the coming of Christ.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Sir.
Who's the one Jeremiah read?
Jeremiah 14 and 4, and you can also add James 4 and 7 through 8.
4 and 14.
Jeremiah 4 and 14.
No, the one before that. It was
Proverbs 6 and 16.
No, it was after that.
Proverbs 4:23.
Proverbs 4:23.
Proverbs 23:7.
Job 15:12.
Yeah,
Job 15:12.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Anything online?
Everybody, reminder, everybody online, tomorrow, sundown, is the beginning of the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay? So, if you're local, if you're here in the area, feel free, you can come join us if that's what you want. We're going to be feasting. Remember, everybody, next week, we're going to be feasting on the days that brothers and sisters get off of work for the 7 days. So this is why we're not having class, because we're going to be commemorating the High Holy Week. All right, so we ain't disappearing. We're just going to be doing that, as well as you should be also. Okay.
Party.
What's up?
It was Leviticus chapter 23, verse 34 and 35.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 5th day of this 7th month shall be a feast of tabernacles.
Right.
For 7 days unto the Lord.
Right.
On the 1st day shall be an holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein."
Right. So tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll be going over the Feast of Tabernacles for Sabbath class in the morning. All right. Because that night, right?
We're gonna do it after the reading.
We're going to do it after the reading. We're going to be going over the Feast of Tabernacles. All right. So look out for that in the morning for Shabbat morning class. Did we have anything online? Was there anything online that no? Okay. So remember, keep that in mind, y'all. So is Leviticus what?
Chapter 23, verse 34 through 36.
Yeah, we'll be going over that tomorrow.
So the first day is a holy convocation, and the last day is a holy convocation.
Right. So it doesn't say Sabbath though.
Wow.
Right. It's not a Sabbath, but it is a holy convocation. Why is it not a Sabbath? Because we're gonna be partying.
No. I thought when I read before, I kind of like the Feast of Unleavened Bread and Tabernacle. I thought the first day was Sabbath. And the last.
We'll double check it. Let us double check and make sure it's not a Sabbath, because not everyone is a Sabbath.
Right.
Not everyone is a Sabbath. But we're double checking. We're checking the numbers too. But from what I remember.
We do that again? Leviticus what? 9?
23 and 34.
Yeah. So tomorrow we'll go over it in its entirety. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, everybody that is tuned into us, you already know the deal. We're gonna be here in the morning. So. Did they have any other questions on there or anything? No? Okay, everybody, let's salute them. We'll see y'all in the morning, brothers. Shalom. All right. And everybody here, Admajim Wapanya Hakodam, rise and face the east.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew,